Welcome all. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports. We've got some NBA action coming up for you. Tonight, we'll see the San Antonio Spurs as they play against the Utah Jazz. Joined by Stan Van Gundy, Richard Jefferson, and Allie LaForce. This is Brian Anderson. Here's what Utah has lined up on their schedule. On Wednesday, they'll take on Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans. Then on Friday, they'll take on Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks.
A significant amount of time coming up on the road. This is often where the best teams separate themselves, getting it done in hostile ground amidst the burden of travel.
The starters for Utah. Yusuf Nurkic is out there with Jaren Jackson. Then it's Peterson, then it's Ace Bailey, and it's George in at the point. And for San Antonio, the perimeter filled up by Castle and Vassell. Harris is the 4, and Wemby stands tall at the 5. And it's Harper in at the point. Stan, as you know, tomorrow is Election Day here in the U.S., so there will not be any NBA games on the docket.
Yeah, well, always a big day in this country for sure, and give a lot of credit to the league because they've made it a point of not playing games on Election Day. It's as symbolic as much as anything else about how important this should be and where the focus should be. They've raised awareness in the league. The players have done a great job of this with the fans, too.
And Bailey gets it to go.
Well, that's what the pick is designed to do. Create separation.
A good screen is difficult to fight through, and you saw it right there.
Jackson on the wing, pounded by Harris. Jackson can't get it to go. And so it's Harper with it. He brings it up for San Antonio. It's a three-point game. The last time they came together was in Salt Lake City, where they fell to the Jazz.
Yeah, you can't go into someone else's building and be that soft on defense. You're not giving yourself a chance.
I'm sure the coaching staff has let them hear about it. I expect to see a much stronger effort, to say the least.
Now here's Bailey. In his last outing, 8 points for him. And he comes up with a bucket. Bailey's got 5 now.
Well, they've leaned on him early, and it's working.
Once he gets firing on all cylinders, it opens up things for everyone else.
All right, we've now got our 2K insider, Shams Charania, on the line. He's got a special report. Shams, it's all yours.
Well, guys, the Spurs this summer signed Victor Wembanyama to a contract extension, which was actually $50 million less than he could have commanded over the course of his 5-year deal. With the harsh new apron rules, star players are often sacrificing so their teams can surround them with depth.
Winning sets the blueprint. Shams, thank you for the report. Castle finds Vassell. Now Harris. A shot to stop the run, and it's good on the lay-in.
We're used to seeing Harris from the outside, but Tobias, he can step up. He's got the size to do some work down low.
Bailey, the pass to Nurkic. Lets it go from deep. And there's Bailey. That one's good. On the assist from Nurkic. Bailey's gotten his 3rd basket of the night. San Antonio's gone 0 for 2 from outside. Pass to Wembanyama. From deep, Harper. Utah grabs the miss. Coming off a win against the Blazers.
Well, their offense faced very little resistance and got into a groove.
Anytime you can play soft D, you'll take that. It doesn't happen every night, though.
Now here's Harper. Castle outside. Wembanyama, pass to Harper. 5 on the clock. Knocks down the step-back J.
He just makes it look so easy on offense. Like, who takes pleasure in torturing defenses? He does.
Here's Peterson. He picked up 24 points in their last win against Portland. Here's Harper, trailing by 8. And here's a timeout from Mitch Johnson. I think right now he might be looking at some adjustments. We know the Jazz has some really good players, but do they have any great players, RJ?
Oh, that's generally what it takes to win at the highest level. I don't think they're quite at that level yet, but they are certainly making progress.
Champagnie, he's checked in for San Antonio. Johnson comes in for Harper. All right, now let's have a look at who was really dominating the boards last season. Fourth, Victor Wembanyama.
Well, simply put, he was a monster down low last year, owning the glass.
And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Pass to Harris. Here's Johnson. Clock at 6. Castle outside from the arc. The basket good off the assist from Johnson.
Well, when I watch Castle play, continuing to grow that jump shot is crucial to his development.
And let's swing it over to the sideline and hear from Allie.
Thank you, B.A. Lauri Markkanen is one of the top marksmen in the world, and not just among 7-footers. He said, quote, "I can't even tell you how many hours I put in on a daily basis to work on my shot. Of course, I give a lot of credit to my mom, dad, and all the coaches that helped me with my technique. But I have to give myself credit, too." Back to you.
He can knock him down. Thanks for the update, Allie. Now here's Mikhailuk over Johnson. Again, Utah good for 2.
Well, we've seen them make the right play over and over here in the first half.
Yeah, they just look so comfortable out there, not forcing anything, letting the game come to them.
Wembanyama, no good.
The defense just giving him the easy look there. He's not going to miss that.
Again, Utah good for 2. And the Spurs with possession here. They trail by 11. They come into this one following the loss to Minnesota.
Well, that's what happens when you don't play both sides of the ball. Their defense caves.
That's why so many teams are looking for two-way players. It's too easy for offenses to isolate weak defenders.
Pass to Hinson. Takes the 3. Rebound by San Antonio. Castle for 3. No good on the buzzer beater. And so it's Utah finishing the quarter with an 8-point lead. They're communicating well and stringing together stops. We'll be right back. And for those of you just tuning in, second quarter action is where we are. And from what we've seen from the Jazz, what's your take so far?
Well, out in the open floor, they've been very difficult to match up with.
They boat raced that team in the first quarter, making this into a track meet.
They've got Luke Cornett, Dylan Harper out there with Johnson. Then there's Julian Champagnie, and it's Bryant in at the 3, the small forward. So that's who San Antonio starts the second with. And he makes it.
Look at Johnson's effort level inside, just absolutely ferocious.
Collier outside, shoots over Harper. No good from the wing. Spurs trail by 8. Pass to Johnson. Harper outside. From deep. Offensive board. And that one drops for him. Cornett's gotten his first bucket of the night.
Stayed with it, and his effort is rewarded with the second chance bucket.
Outside, Williams. Collier outside. Shot clock at 5. Here's Sensabaugh. And yes, it goes. Got a little English on that one. And here's the timeout from Mitch Johnson now. He might have seen something and needs to review with his guys. Vassell, he's checked in for Bryant. Then for Utah, Bailey's checked in for Williams. Peterson comes in for Sensabaugh. And it's Keontae George in for Collier. And last season, Richard, the Jazz were last in block shots. You have the feeling that would change.
With Jaren Jackson Jr. patrolling the paint defensively, it's much more of a no-fly zone inside.
Utah leading by 6. Filipowski outside. Out left to the wing. And here's Peterson outside. Gets it to go. That makes him 2 for 3 in this game.
The three ball is still a work in progress for Peterson. When he's hitting from deep, he's borderline unguardable.
Now here's Johnson. 9 points in his last outing. The three. He drops it from range. Johnson's got 5 points in the quarter.
These teams are matching each other from beyond the arc.
Oh, this is what the fans pay to see, a matchup like this.
And San Antonio has possession. 8-point game. Down low. Here's Champagnie. And he floats it in for the easy 2. Credit the sweet setup on that one. The Jazz have gone a terrific 4 of 5 here in the second quarter. George passes to Bailey. The three is up. Harper pulls it in. And Harper's got the ball here for San Antonio. Looking ahead, they've got the Mavericks coming to town for their next one. That'll be the end of a 3-game homestand. And so Will Hardy calls the timeout. He's going to take a moment to give him a breather and talk things over. And the Spurs with some changes. Wembanyama comes in for Fournette, and Stephon Castle subbed in for Harper. Nurkic just checked in for Utah. Jaren Jackson comes in for Markkanen. Nice shot by George. Here's Castle. Here's Wembanyama. Wembanyama, so comfortable inside.
You'd love for Victor to get that look every time up the floor.
And here's Peterson outside. Rebound by San Antonio. We talk about the uniqueness of Wembanyama. That carries over into his training as well, Richard.
He goes beyond just running and lifting. This man's doing handstands. He's doing cardio, speed, chest. This man is pushing the boundaries at all times, mentally and physically.
There's a minute 26 left to play in the second quarter. Nurkic up top. Pass to Peterson. Utah moving the ball around. There's the triple. Knocks it down from distance. Peterson's got 8 points.
That's inexcusable defense right there. You gotta contest the shot better than that.
Now here's Champagnie. Back to Castle. And looks like an illegal pick was set. That gets the ref's attention. All right, let's take a second to view the 2K leaderboard and look at last season's top scoring squads. In the third spot, the Spurs.
Well, and last year, I liked watching this team operate on the offensive end. The ball movement, the patience, the confidence. You love seeing all that come together.
Looking at who's out there now for San Antonio. Tobias Harris comes in for Champagnie, and it's Harper in for Johnson. Oh, Wembanyama throws it down.
Does Wemby even need to jump to dunk? No. Must be nice.
To the inside. Unloads from 13. And it's Harris with the rebound. Spurs trail by 5. Vassell outside. Takes a 3. On target from range. Vassell's gotten himself going here. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
Well, they could make this the last possession of the period.
Clock management figures into games in a big way, especially at the end of quarters. The offensive success is due in part to his quality shooting. He hasn't wasted too many looks.
From about 19. Shot is good. Off the back rim and in. And the Jazz lead by 4.
That may be not the highest percentage of looks right there, but look, you can't argue with results, I guess.
And so it's Darren Peterson making things happen for Utah. 8 points in the quarter, showing how effective he can be. Back to the game after this break.
Welcome to the Kia Halftime Report.
Halftime is here, and with the San Antonio Spurs in a neck-and-neck game, lots to talk about.
How have they kept it this close? Their D has been invisible. Come on, fellas, get after it.
Yeah, just a few more stops and this score would be totally different. Okay, let's take a moment now to celebrate our Players of the Week. For the Western Conference, Nikola Jokic.
The talent of the Jokers being recognized. Big achievements for the big man from Serbia. He's one of those players that can win at any time.
Yeah, he's asked to do a lot, I'm telling you, but he ends up doing it, and he gets a lot of triple-doubles, Shaq.
And that's a wrap on halftime. Thanks for watching as we send you back to BA to call the second half.
And if you're just joining us, we played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. Utah leading by 4. So on the floor for Utah, they've got Ace Bailey. Yusuf Nurkic is out there with Jaren Jackson. Then it's Peterson, and it's George in at the 1. Coach, you were telling me, you think the top international prospects recently have been safer picks than the ones from college.
Yeah, absolutely, B.A. It's because they've been tested. They came up playing against grown men, where college guys are facing other 18 and 19-year-olds and only staying for a year.
Gives us a chance to catch up with Allie LaForce.
Thanks a lot, Brian. The Jazz are looking to build their bond. Keontae George took the time to visit teammate Lauri Markkanen in his native Finland. George said, looking at the best teams, their top guys have a connection. I want to build that relationship and show him that I care. That cohesion is paying dividends. Back to you.
Connected and driven. Allie, appreciate the report. And for those tuning in, we're about a minute into this second half. The rebound by Jackson.
Oh, you got to finish at the rim right there. You hate seeing those opportunities go to waste.
And the shot's good.
A nice start to the second half. They've made 3 out of their first 4 shots coming out of the break.
And here's a timeout from Mitch Johnson. He's going to take a minute to regroup with his players. And so it's Harper with it. He brings it up for San Antonio. Trailing by 8. Richard, when you watch Keontae George, this guy is a new age type of guard.
He's got the length at 6'4". He can score like a 2, facilitate like a 1, and George takes a lot of threes. Pretty much does everything you want out of a guard. Okay, so they've looked energized and focused starting this half, coming out of the break, making 4 out of their first 5.
Castle for 3. And again, it's the Spurs from deep. Jazz leading by 5. 16 feet out. Jackson can't get it to go. The Spurs have gotten 3 of 4 shots to fall so far in the third. Wembanyama's shot is good. Wembanyama's got 4 points in the quarter.
I mean, you hate to give up those second chance points.
Yeah, you play defense, they miss the shot, and then you give that up.
Here's Peterson. The shot won't fall. Good work defensively by Castle. Wide open. And San Antonio getting another bucket right there.
Yeah, Castle is working hard to create offense out there, repeatedly finding shots for himself.
And here's Bailey for 3. It's good. Set up beautifully by George. George has got assist number 5 here tonight. Spurs trail by 4. Harper surveying the D. And he dunks it down.
Monster finish. You love to see that out of your backcourt.
Hey, when the game is tight, look for something high percentage.
Bailey's shot is off. The Spurs have gotten 6 of 8 shots to go and looking good since the break. Castle, that's short off the rim. Outside Bailey. Sinks it! What range from downtown! Bailey's got 14 points. Well, San Antonio's shooting has been unreal. 64% from the floor. Pass to Vassell. 1:27 left in the third quarter here. Shot clock at 6. Castle for 3. And San Antonio hits again from deep.
He knocked one deep ball in the first half, but you start to get the feeling he's finding his rhythm out there now.
until Will Hardy calls the timeout. And we might see some changes. Coach potentially looking to adjust. And San Antonio making a change here. Johnson's checked in. Then for Utah, Lauri Markkanen's checked in for Jusuf Nurkic. And it's Collier in for George. Oh, wasted no time on that one. He's got 6. 1:07 left in the third quarter. Castle surveying the D. Pass to Johnson. From outside the arc. Wembanyama screen. Johnson with it. Jackson in his pocket. Ooh, lots of contact on the shot. So 2 free throws will follow that whistle.
Such a physical player. Johnson never lets aggressive defense stop him from trying to score.
He's got his first free throws of the night right here. And that one misses. The Spurs guard trio of Fox, Castle, and Harper, an embarrassment of riches, RJ.
Some calling them the Slash Brothers. Fox, or Unk as they call him, is the sage vet who steadies things. And Castle and Harper, well, those 2 boys just wreak havoc.
Looking at who's out there now for San Antonio. Cornette checked in for Wembanyama. Champagnie comes in for Harris. And it's Bryant in for Stephon Castle. Here's Harper, following the bucket by Utah.
Look, the defense was locked in on him there. They know how dangerous he can be, and they guarded him perfectly.
It's good. And now it's a 7-point Jazz lead.
It's been fun watching Peterson go to work. He just doesn't let up, scoring tons tonight.
Now here's Johnson. 6 points for him. 6 to shoot. Misses the 3. Here's Collier. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials getting together here. They may want to review this one. Well, we thought the third quarter was over.
The previous play is under review.
They're trying to see if he released the ball before the buzzer or not.
After the review, the ruling on the floor is overturned.
So after taking a look at it, they decided to overturn the call. That basket is good.
Well, it would have been very unfortunate if those points hadn't counted. Glad the officials were able to use the second look there to make the right call.
And so it's Utah with a 9-point cushion at the end of the quarter. Great shot selection right now, keeping the game simple and getting high percentage looks. And more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way right after this. The fourth quarter has arrived. So good to have you with us. And here's Castle. He'll bring it up for San Antonio. 9-point game. The cell is the 3 with Champagnie the 4. Johnson is out there with Castle. And it's Cornette in at the 5. That's the San Antonio 5. Utah has gotten 6 of 10 3-pointers to drop. Here's Collier. Again, Utah good for 2. Here's Castle. Lets the 3 fly. The rebound by Filipowski. Jazz leading by 9. Here's Sensabaugh. And again, it's Utah.
Hey, why not stretch this lead as far as you can?
It's a good lesson for all players to learn. And when you've got your opponent down, do not let up.
And here's Vassell from the arc. It's hauled in by Collier.
And the defense dodged one right there. Not the guy you want to leave open.
From out on the wing, he knocks it down. And the Jazz lead by 13.
Well, it doesn't matter where he is on the court. Markkanen is a pure shooter.
Castle finds Vassell. Johnson against George. Unloads from 13. Can't get it to drop. For Utah, they've gone a perfect 3 for 3 here in the fourth. Here's Sensabaugh. Buried from 15 feet out.
Well, the way they've dominated tonight on both ends, you wouldn't think this is a road game for them.
Give these guys all the credit in the world. You rarely see a team go into someone else's house and pick them apart.
Timeout called. Mitch Johnson. He's looking to make some very important adjustments here. For San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama's checked in for Cornette. Harris comes in for Champagnie, and it's Harper in for Johnson. So Utah going with an almost entire new group here. Yusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Filipowski. Jackson comes in for Markkanen. Bailey's checked in for Sensabaugh, and it's Peterson in for Collier. A chance here to catch up with Allie from the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Mitch Johnson was saying to the team, and he was adamant that they need to tighten up their D. That lack of communication at that end has led to breakdowns, wide open shooters, and easy buckets. He sounded pretty frustrated, guys.
And Allie, thank you for that. Bailey. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. You know, through all the evolutions this league has seen, is there a constant when it comes to building a title contender, RJ?
Every championship team has had and needs two elite offensive creators because those defenses can tighten up quickly.
And Utah has possession following that last three-pointer by San Antonio.
Yeah, one thing I like about Peterson is his advanced feel. He knows where to attack the defense.
Vassell, it's good from beyond the arc.
Yeah, that's what they want to see. He has to start asserting himself. They need him to take command of this game.
George! Now Jackson goes again. He gets the layup.
This is where you want Jackson Jr. going to town. He's got a nice soft touch around the rim.
Spurs trail by 15. Castle outside. Here's Wembanyama. Oh, he dropped it straight in.
Well, he got hot in their last game, and it's carried over.
You can see it in his eyes. He expects to score at any time he touches it.
And so Will Hardy calls for the timeout. He wants their game plan to be crystal clear at this point. Jackson outside. Oh, it's off! And so it's Harper with it. He brings it up for San Antonio. Trailing by 13. That's what he wanted!
Well, once Castle gets going downhill, he's very difficult to stop. Effective at finishing around the rim.
Yes, sir! Banking in the layup!
I'll tell you, this is exactly why the pump fake will never go out of style. It works.
Keontae George! Up again! Nurkic! Oh, the long arm of the law! Wembanyama with the denial! We played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Misses the three! Utah leading by 9. Jackson outside. He shoots! Ooh, rise and fire. They had excellent production from the bench.
Well, depth is a strong suit for this team, and in this game it showed.
And this will give them their 7th win of the year. And even the opposing fans can't deny this was a sensational game for Ace Bailey.
I think people could learn a lot from how versatile he was in this one. Whatever the situation was, he found a way to be a difference maker.
Yes, sir! That one's good!
Well, this late run has put this thing to bed. Great job.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they had to do in those closing moments and gave them the win.
Timeout called, the Spurs. There's 45 seconds left in the fourth. Vassell fires! The three is off. There's 37 seconds left to play in the fourth. Good for 2!
Well, right now you have an arena full of fans accepting defeat.
As a player on the road, you love seeing the crowd leave early.
Here's Castle. Jacks up a 3! Oh, he cannot hit. Now they can just run the clock.
Congratulations to them. Well deserved.
Count it! So we see the Jazz taking the W here. They came in here on the road, and not only did they get the win, they silenced this crowd down the stretch.
Look, it's always fun to play the spoiler and beat someone in their house, and it's especially fun when you manage to take the crowd out of it.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Richard Jefferson, Stan Van Gundy, and, of course, Allie LaForce, this is Brian Anderson saying thanks for tuning in. And as we leave you, here's a look at our player of the game, Keontae George.
Coming right up, the Jazz taking on the Pelicans. For Utah, they have been building confidence with each and every game. Every team they face knows they in turn have to bring their best if they expect to beat them. Pelicans, Jazz, coming up on 2K Sports. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA on 2K Sports. Alongside Greg Anthony and Tim Legler, I'm Kevin Harlan. Down on the sidelines for us, Allie LaForce. And a chance now to see how teams are faring across the league. Here's the latest edition of the Power Rankings. Taking a look at Oklahoma City, they're gaining on some of the teams above them, trying hard to crack into that top 5.
I think for Utah, they are the team we expected to be here. Taking the top spot come playoff time, this is the team to beat.
And checking out Utah's opening lineup, Nurkic is out there with Jaren Jackson. Then there's Ace Bailey. Then there's Peterson. And it's George in the point. And for the Pelicans, Murphy on the wing along with Bay. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Derek Queen. And it's Murray in at the point. And it's Utah's ball. They are a hot team right now. 7 consecutive wins. And looking for number 8 tonight.
And we're seeing just how good this team is when they're firing on all cylinders. The way they're rolling right now, this winning streak could go on for a while.
Well, Tim, one thing we'll see tonight, exceptional backcourt play.
Well, these two teams are comfortable just putting the ball in their guards' hands and let them go make plays.
Now trading blows. Peterson hits back with the dribble.
Here's Murray. Count it from 12.
The wake-up call for the defense. He's not going to miss many of those.
Well, the key is to take what the defense allows. That is smart basketball.
Peterson misses. The Pelicans have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Murray outside. And the rebound by Nurkic. The Jazz have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Pass to Peterson. The tray. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. 6 points for Darren Peterson.
In addition to everything else he does, Peterson is a terrific floor spacer.
That's a great look. His teammate was on the move, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Well, the Jazz knew, Greg, they needed to improve their defense.
The last 3 seasons, they've either been last or second to last in defensive efficiency, and their offense not exactly setting the world ablaze either.
Murray, no good.
Well, he better focus now. His efficiency is dropping, but there's enough game left to make corrections.
Pulls up on the wing, and again it's Utah.
And really a pull-up threat from anywhere. Always have to have an eye on George.
Right now, let's take a second to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sidelines.
I briefly spoke with Jamal Mosley. He touched on Jaren Jackson's ability to space the floor as a near 7-footer. He said it presents a really unique challenge because they can go 5 out. And then once you've extended your defense, they'll run him into the post where he can finish over either shoulder. Kevin, back to you.
And as always, Allie, great job. Thank you. So here's Murphy after the basket by Utah. Murray outside. Stolen by George. And here comes Jackson leading the fast break. And he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron. Pelicans trail by 5. Here's Queen. And Murphy kicks to Bay. Back to Murphy. It's good from long range. Murphy's got a pair of 3s now in the first quarter for the Pelicans.
With every passing season, Murphy seems to gain more and more confidence. And with these results, you can understand why.
And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. Coach needs a moment to talk things over. So for the Pelicans, Lumakovic comes in for Derek Queen, and Jones subbed in for Bay. Markkanen, he's checked in for Utah. Isaiah Collier comes in for Peterson. Here's Collier from the wing. That's good on the jump shot. Now Murphy. And a nice start. All 3 of his shots have been good.
Well, that's just a credit to his strength right there. Murphy playing right through the contact.
Here's Collier. And the shot is long. And Murray's got the ball here for New Orleans. Trailing by 2. Last time they met was in Salt Lake City, Utah, where they fell to the Jazz. For Utah, they've gotten 7 of their first 10 attempts to fall so far. Excellent pace to their offense. Collier, that's good. New Orleans has gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Murray outside. 29 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Shot clock at 5. A rebound by the Jazz.
Nothing seems to be coming easy for him in this quarter.
And with each miss, you can feel him pressing just a little bit more.
And right away, you can tell this is going to be a scorer's game.
We knew coming in it was going to be that kind of matchup. A lot of points being put on the board.
A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. Jazz out in front, up by 4. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Jazz.
Oh, man, how about the mid-range jumper from these guys? It's on tonight, a huge part of their offense so far.
Another highlight for them has been their early ball movement, making quick, decisive passes to set up guys for great looks.
So on the floor for Utah, they've got Lauri Markkanen. Kyluk is out there with Isaiah Collier. Then there's Filipowski, and it's Sensabaugh in its small forward. Jazz leading by 3. And now we're being joined by our 2K insider, Shams Charania, who's calling in with a good story. Shams, what do you have?
Well, guys, the Pelicans largely ran it back from last season without the lottery pick, though, that they conveyed to Atlanta. But the Pelicans did bring in a new head coach in Jamal Mosley. They have some talent, but in a loaded West, it's always tough.
A serious challenge. All right, Shams, we thank you very much for that report.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
Cool with it. Now defended by Markkanen. And so the timeout by Jamal Mosley here. Coach is going to take a few minutes to regroup and go over the strategy. So for the Pelicans, Derek Queens checked in for Carlo Matkovic. Bay comes in for Herbert Jones. And Trey Murphy subbed in for Jordan Poole. Then for the Jazz, Jackson, he's checked in for Bryce Sensabaugh. Peterson comes in for Kyluk. And it's Keontae George in for Collier. Beers up top, defended by George. New Orleans moving the ball around. Here's Bay. Filipowski grabs the board.
You know, not sure if he's playing to the crowd, but no need for the fadeaway on that shot.
Peterson, that's good. And we're a little over a minute and a half into the second quarter of action. Pass to Misi. Now Murphy. So, Tim, there's a difference between scoring and shooting. So, in constructing a team, what's harder to achieve, but what's more important to get?
Well, Kevin, they're both hard to find at an elite level, but assuming you've got a couple of top-tier scorers, give me more shooters on the floor because those guys affect the defense without even touching the ball. Well, his team is up, and he's a big reason why. And it's a little easier to shoot when you know you've got an advantage on the scoreboard.
And there it is for him. Nisi's got his first 2 points of the night. Jazz leading by 3. George, that's a 2-pointer. And Utah again with the bucket. Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Pass to Misi. Now Murphy. Murphy sets a screen for Fear. Peterson grabs the miss.
It seemed like he changed his mind halfway through the layup, tried to go to something else, and flat out choked it.
And a moment to check out now what Utah has coming up. On Friday, they'll be facing Kyrie Irving and the Dallas Mavericks. Then on Sunday, they'll be facing LaMelo Ball and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And for that game against Miami, it's one that I'm excited for. A couple of teams that play exciting basketball meeting up early in the season.
Jordan's checked in for the Pelicans. DeJounte Murray comes in for Jeremiah Few. The shot's good from Bay.
Showing the range. How about Bay taking and making his fair share of those triples?
Here's George. It's in, and he's a very efficient 5 for 6 on the game. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. And Greg with the acquisition of Jaren Jackson Jr., a towering front court now for the Utah Jazz.
But also a lot of shooting ability in that group as well, Kevin. A pretty good recipe for success, if you ask me.
Well, he usually brings rain from there, but not this time.
Bay passes to Murray. That doesn't go in. Had a chance, though, to take the lead. Jazz have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. Bailey misses. New Orleans has gone 2 of 3 when they've stepped beyond the arc in the second quarter. Buries it from three-point range.
Well, he was cold in that first quarter. Now it's great to see him flip that switch and start getting hot here.
Here's Bailey. And right away, they match it with a three-pointer of their own. And the Jazz lead by 2. Knocked loose. Peterson with the steal. To the right side. Puts up a 3. And again, it's the Jazz from deep.
There's no question Bailey can score from anywhere. The defense cannot allow this guy to run free.
On the wing, Murray. 20 points for him last game against Memphis.
And as you can see, that shot is well within his wheelhouse.
Here's Jackson. Pelicans with the rebound. And after this one, they're home against Minnesota. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. In the corner, Murray with it. Bangs home the trifecta. Murray's got the game tied up here for the Pelicans.
Very difficult to stop team play when the ball's moving. Excellent find with the pass to create that scoring opportunity.
It's a tie game in New Orleans. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half.
Welcome to the Kia Halftime Show.
Greetings, everybody. Before we review the first half, let's take an early season peek at how the Western Conference is shaking out so far.
You know, for the Pelicans, they're right where I expected them to be. The effort is there, but their play is inconsistent. Feels like they're still constructing this roster. We'll see what they look like by the end of the year.
And let's turn our attention now to the performance of the Jazz in that closely contested first half.
If you want to take control, you got to be more assertive. Get the ball in the paint. Put some pressure on that D.
We knew you were going to say that. And that's all for us. Now it's time to send it back to Kevin Harlan for the beginning of the third quarter.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. Without question, Trey Murphy displaying his skills today.
And I like the way this offense is valuing each possession, getting him some high percentage looks.
There is nothing better than watching scorers get their points within the flow of the offense.
And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Jazz. Murray in the backcourt. To his side is Murphy. Sadiq Bey is out there with Derek Queen. And it's Jordan in at the center position. So that's the group out there for New Orleans. Murray outside. Pass to Bey. New Orleans moving the ball around. Now Jordan. He's guarded by Nurkic. Queen can't get it to go. Utah leading. So, Greg, if you had to single out something in Jackson's offensive game, what would it be?
For me, Kevin, I love his versatility as a scorer. You know, he can face up, play with his back to the basket. He's got multiple ways he can beat you.
Let's step back. Here's Murray. Rebound by Nurkic.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Here's Jackson, and that one off the back of the rim and in. And it's a 6-point Jazz lead.
Yeah, he's added that to his game. In the mid-range area of the floor, Jackson Jr. can really do some damage with that shooting touch.
And now, Hallie LaForce has something for us from the sideline.
Well, the Pelicans gave up a lot to get Derek Queen. Teammate and fellow 2025 first-rounder Jeremiah Fierce said, "I know it probably weighs on his mind and his shoulders a lot, but we have a lot more to go. We're going to show everybody we have something special in New Orleans." Back over to you guys.
You love that mentality. Thanks so much, Allie, for the report. Murphy finds Queen. Murray outside. Shoots from the elbow. 2 points. That one goes. Murray's got 9 points.
And that is their first make of the third. Let's see if that gets them going.
And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. Coach is going to talk some things over with the team. Might be seeing something to adjust. Here's Bailey. He's defended by Bey. And the basket by Bailey.
They're on fire to start this quarter, and with each basket, their confidence grows.
Murray surveying the D. Here's Bey. And the rejection by Jackson. Shoots it. And a little luck that time, but it drops. Peterson's got the lead up to 8 now for the Jazz.
Showing us how quick he can be. Peterson pulled up fast and knocks down the jumper.
And Murray, here we go. To the middle, Murphy. And then Murphy with the dunk.
When he's had the opportunities, he's scored the ball, but they need more from him.
Second half of play, and we're 3 minutes into the third here. Over the last 8 seasons, Greg, only 2 playoff appearances for the Pelicans.
And they only won 2 playoff games total in that span. In their almost quarter-century history as the Pelicans, this team has yet to make a really deep run.
Fears he's checked in for New Orleans. And Utah with a change here, too. Collier's checked in. Pelicans trail by 8. Here's Murray up on top. Defended by Collier. Murray, no good. And here's Utah. They're on a 12-4 run. Bailey passes to Nurkic. Back to Bailey. Out to the wing. Tries it from 19. And he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. Collier's got 8 points.
Since halftime, scoring efficiency has been the difference between these two teams.
And that's just good coaching. They have made the better adjustments. I love those kind of looks as a player. Plenty of space and peace of mind to launch. Rarely see them that open.
Good on the shot. New Orleans gone 6 of 10 from three-point range, up over 50% for the ball game. Now here's Murray. 9 points in the game so far. Yes, that goes in. He's got 11. There's 47 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Here's Collier. It's rebounded by New Orleans. And so the timeout by Jamal Mosley here. He's going to take a few moments here to check in with his team and regroup. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Yves Missi, he's checked in for Jordan. Arlo Markovic comes in for Derek Queen. Jones checked in for Sadiq Bey. And Trey Murphy subbed in for Murray. Pass to Jones. Oh, and the dunk by Jones.
Oh, watch out below. Jones coming through.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Ring shot on the way. And again, it's Utah. And so Murphy will bring it up for New Orleans. It's a 10-point game. Lets it go with the three. Trains the three-pointer. Murphy's got 15 points.
And remember, he had a big game last time out. That's continuing here.
When someone is rolling like this, just keep feeding him. That's just great coaching.
And so it's the Utah Jazz heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. They're shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from the field. Back to the action in just a minute. And a moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
And he made this an easy call tonight. Pinpoint pass. Can't place it any better.
Yeah, playing for one another. That's the definition of teamwork.
And with 3 quarters behind us, let's see what this fourth period holds in store for us. And Utah looking at who they've got to start the fourth quarter. They've got Keontae George. Markkanen is out there with Kyle Filipowski. Then it's Collier. And it's Sensabaugh in at the 3 slot. Here's Filipowski. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Filipowski's got his first basket of the night. Fears with it. Nailed from three-point land.
Success from three-point range is going to be important for Fears. That'll take his game up a notch.
Jazz leading by 6. Here's Collier. Again, the Jazz score.
High-scoring game, high-level entertainment.
This is what the fans came to see. A lot of great plays going back and forth.
And then Murphy with the dunk.
Well, he's become such a reliable scorer, and this is just another typical offensive performance by Murphy.
George, no good.
The defense doing just enough there to affect that shot.
Pass to Matkovic. Murphy against George. Lock at 6. Here's Matkovic. Here's Missi. Misses the 3. Here's Collier. He's guarded by Murphy. And it's Collier missing. Pelicans trail by 6. Now Fears. Oh, good on the layup. Markkanen looking it over. Here's the shot. There's the jumper. Nice one.
Better to be lucky than good. Got that shot to fall.
And Jamal Mosley has called timeout. He's very aware of the timing here and the significance of getting things squared away with his team. A big group substitution here for New Orleans. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Yves Missi. Derek Queen comes in for Carlo Matkovic. Bayes checked in for Herbert Jones. And it's DeJounte Murray in for Fears. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Norkic checked in for Filipowski. Jaren Jackson comes in for Markkanen. Ace Bailey's checked in for Bryce Sensabaugh. And Peterson subbed in for Collier. Pelicans trail by 7. And the shot goes in.
That is a huge shot by Murray when his team needed it most. He just loves these moments.
George fires. He puts in the J.
And they've relied on his offense, and boy, he has not disappointed.
Well, the volume has been there, but so has the efficiency, which is why they're in control of this game.
A terrific defender, and Jackson, one of those guys with great timing when he goes for the shot block and not afraid to send a message as well.
Hands off. And so Murphy will bring it up for New Orleans. 7-point differential. Outside Murray. And the 3 misses. Jazz have gone 5 of 8 shooting as we've come down the home stretch in this final quarter. Murray rips down the board. The Pelicans have gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. No good. Jazz leading by 7. Here's Nurkic. Ace Bailey sinks the big jumper.
And Bailey has never seen a shot he didn't like. He wants to score as often as possible.
New Orleans has gone a disappointing 2 of 6 on 3-point attempts here in the fourth. Murray cleared away by George. Queen against Jackson. Bailey fires. Up again. Jackson outside. Another chance here. It's in. His shot is pure.
The fans can see the writing on the wall. They know this one got away from him.
Well, it's not quite as if you can hear a pin drop in here, but this team literally has taken the air out of the building.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. That one is off. And they can just let the clock run out here.
Cannot argue with the W.
And he misses the J. And Murray, here we go. George! And so it's Utah with the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
Allie, let's go to you courtside. What do you have for us?
Jaren, you've shown yourself to be an impact player at both ends of the floor. But is defense where it starts?
Yeah, you know, the talking keeps me active, just being able to move my feet, being able to stay low on defense, you know, all those things keep you engaged. And when you do those things, you can make a big impact as the anchor of the team. And, you know, everybody else, they take pride in defense. So if I'm working with everybody else, it's great.
Thanks, Jaren. Congrats on your success.
Good stuff, Allie. Thanks. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. Alongside Tim Legler, Greg Anthony, and our reporter, Allie LaForce, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching, folks. But as we go, let's take a look at our player of the game, Keontae George.
Hi, everyone. What a great night for some hoops. With a little more on the line, it's the NBA Cup, and it's in full swing. I'm Brian Anderson, joined courtside by Stan Van Gundy and Doris Burke. Allie LaForce is our reporter. And a good portion of the starting lineup out for this team. A lot of fill-ins tonight.
Well, their injury issues are apparent. Thinner on the bench and the starting lineup. A lot to overcome.
So let's take a look at the starters for the Utah Jazz. They've got Yusuf Nurkic, Bailey out there with Jackson, then it's Peterson, and it's George in at the point. And for the Mavericks, Washington and Gafford down low. Najee Marshall is out there with Max Christie, and it's Risacher in at the 3. You know, even though it's early, it feels like we already know a lot about these teams, Stan.
Well, we do. We know what they did last year.
Here we go.
We've seen what they've done in the offseason. We saw them play in the preseason. So I wouldn't say they're a mystery. But what you never know about any group is how they'll handle adversity like injuries, losing streaks, things like that along the way. To me, that's when you find out about your team.
And it's out of bounds. The Mavericks able to retain possession here. Gafford passes to Washington. Pass to Marshall. 6 on the shot clock. Dallas needs to get off a shot. The putback. Great positioning on the putback.
Excellent follow-up, attacking right off the rebound.
George for 3. It's rebounded by Risacher, the 16th selection in the 23 draft. Keontae George has been fantastic, Doris.
BA, there is some sentiment that based on his draft position, this guy has been an absolute steal. This is a guy who can absolutely fill it up. He is a high assist guy with that ability to put the ball in the basket. So a ton going in Keontae George's direction.
Here's Risacher. After the basket by Utah. And the layup is good off the glass.
Well, listen, something that's a little different about Risacher. Unlike some of the other young wings, he loves to go inside.
George with the bucket. Marshall with it. Washington outside. Puts up a 3. Utah grabs the miss. They're a team with momentum in the midst of an 8-game winning streak.
Well, this is a basketball team that's really humming right now. And what you love is they're working together as a unit, which makes it fun to watch. What I'm curious about here is when teams start to adapt and take away their best strategy, how do they keep the streak going? Really, really interested to see how this plays out.
Well, if you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Pass to Nurkic. Over Gafford. Oh, he clanks that one off the back iron and it falls.
Boy, you love Nurkic showing off his touch. This guy, as a passer, dangerous, now showing you I can score it too.
Gafford passes to Washington. Oh, it's blocked by Jackson. Here's Peterson. Yes, and a nice assist from Jackson. Mavericks trail by 6. Doris, last season's trade deadline deal for Jaren Jackson Jr. signaling a new phase for the Jazz.
Yeah, it seems to indicate that the 4-year rebuild has largely concluded and that Utah perhaps is ready to make a push towards winning more games.
Just 4 to shoot. Really left him alone that time. Risacher's got 7.
Well, beyond the arc, Risacher has proven to be very assertive. This is a key part of his offensive game.
George with the bucket.
Boy, what a quarter he's had. Go ahead, young sir. Keep the pressure on.
And so Dusty May decides to call timeout. A moment to rest and confer on the game plan.
A little break in the action. It's a good time to make sure everyone's aligned.
Well, you get a limited amount of time in the huddle. Concise communication is key.
for the Jazz. Lauri Markkanen's checked in for Jackson, and Sensabaugh subbed in for Bailey. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Now here's Gafford. Pass to Aldama. Some nice ball movement by Dallas. Shot clock at 6. Here's Gafford. Fader on the way. Aldama, no good.
Boy, he looks and will take that shot every time. Just won't go.
Here's George. And that one off the back of the rim and in. 10 points for him.
You're seeing Keontae George develop into more and more of a potent offensive weapon. Goes to the jumper there.
Here's De La Rea. Christie up top. There's 37 seconds left to play in the first. Now here's Marshall. Defense is right there. Count it.
Well, he's so potent offensively. It's easy to draw up plays for him.
Utah leading by 5. Here's George. And all around the rim that time before dropping. George has got 12 points in the game. The Mavericks have gone 5 of 9 from the floor. Aldama outside. Fires the 3. Here's Christie. Keontae George has been leading the charge for the Jazz. He made a big impact, scoring 12 points in the quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. Halfway through the first half in this one. And what stands out to you from Utah in this one?
Well, you like their strategy coming in, and they're sticking to the script.
What you love is how fluid the offense looks right now. There has not been many wasted opportunities.
Mavericks trail by 7. On the floor for Utah, getting going in the second. Vyacheslav Mikhailuk is out there with Isaiah Collier. Then there's Bryce Sensabaugh. Then it's Lauri Markkanen. And it's Filipowski in at the 5. Inside, here's Aldama. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
Using that almost 7-foot frame. Santi Aldama, the Spaniard.
And let's send it over to Allie LaForce.
Thanks, Brian. The Jazz are committed to the process. Star big man Lauri Markkanen said it would mean a lot to see this rebuild go through. For me, the journey of getting better and better as a team and then finally breaking through means a lot. I'd love to be a part of the next great Jazz team. Back to you.
They're happy to have him. Allie, thanks very much for the report. Yep, that one goes. Well, the Mavericks shooting efficiently, 50% so far. Well, we have a chance to hear from Shams Charania. He's calling in right now. Shams, great to have you on, bud.
Guys, for the Mavericks, big changes in the front office and on the bench with new head coach Dusty May. Well-regarded move league-wide, but after fortifying their front court, their guard play could be the real test of this roster.
They'll be challenged for certain. Shams Charania with the report. Thanks, Shams. A different look here for Utah. Jackson, he's checked in for Sensabaugh. Bailey comes in for Mikhailuk. And it's George in for Collier. Utah leading by 6. It's George on the wing. Risache covering. Shoots. Nice shot by George. George has got 14 points for the game.
Easy to see the kind of impact George is going to have in this league. Already so productive.
Oh, and Jackson with the block. They recover it. No good on the triple. For Utah, they've gone 3 of 3 to begin the second. Here's Markkanen. Ooh, a little luck that time as it drops. And it's a 10-point Jazz lead. All right, guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Jazz.
Well, their defense has been really impressive, especially the number of blocks they've managed to get. It's not easy to keep denying guys at the rim.
You know, also, they've been incredible on the fast break, taking those chances, playing with great pace.
Now here's Markkanen. And there's another one for the Jazz.
Oh, you can see Markkanen's touch right there. It doesn't matter where he is on the floor. The guy is a 3-level scorer.
And so Dusty May decides to call timeout. He'll take the opportunity to regroup. Gafford, he's checked in for Lively. Well, Doris, one thing that teams measure now in players, decision latency is the term. How long they take to pass or shoot after catching the ball.
We call this 0.3-second basketball. You don't want to dribble the air out of the ball. You don't want the ball to, quote, stick. To me, honestly, BA, it's getting harder to play in the league if you can't think the game at a high level.
Now here's Marshall. 14 points his last outing. Here's Washington. It's rebounded by George. Utah leading by 12. Pass to Jackson. Shoots over Aldama. And it's good as he snugs it right through the net. Here's Marshall. Now here's Aldama. Will it go? And he sinks the layup. Aldama's got his second basket of the game. Here's George. There's a lot to like about Markkanen's game, Doris.
Oh, my goodness, B.A., no doubt about it. You're talking about a 7-footer who can shoot the three-pointer with incredible efficiency and, more importantly, volume. It's one thing to knock down a couple if you're taking 3 or 4. It's another to get north of 6 and 7 attempts and still be a knockdown shooter.
Reza Shea, his fourth make in 5 tries. Solid start for him. The Jazz have gone an outstanding 7 of 7 so far in the second quarter. George outside. Pass to Filipowski. Over Gafford. And there's another one for the Jazz.
Well, Keontae George demonstrating right there he's a team-first guy. Teammate open, you put it where it needs to be.
The Mavericks trail by 14. The 3 from Reza Shea. The rebound by Filipowski. And here are the Jazz. They're on a 16-7 run. Here's George. And that one comes up a bit short. The Mavericks have gone 4 of 10 from the field in the second. Washington, a good look. And the baseline jumper, no good.
Boy, they give him the mid-range jumper, and he has to make that.
Here's Markkanen. Kicks it out to Jackson. Over Reza Shea. Gafford grabs the miss. Dallas has gone 1 for 3 from downtown here in the second. To the paint. And the dunk by Gafford.
Daniel Gafford is a vertical threat at the cup. Look out below.
Here's Filipowski. It's good. Set up beautifully by George. Filipowski's got his third basket on the night right there. And here's Reza Shea. He's got 9. Gafford the screen with 1 on the clock. Oh, and the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And so it's Utah, a sizable lead of 14 at the break. They hold a real solid lead right now. Love their approach tonight. And don't go far. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Kia, the 2K Sports Halftime Report.
Howdy, folks. Time for halftime fun. Woohoo! Before we check out the action at hand, first order of business, the power rankings.
When I look at Dallas, they're in a free fall, sliding down these rankings. But the good news is time is still on their side.
Yep, plenty of games left for them to turn things around. Now we'll take a look back at our featured game. That was quite a performance for the Jazz.
They're clicking offensively, making the right decisions, and, of course, making shots.
And they say it's a make-or-miss league, and that's mostly true.
Thanks for joining us. Time to head back over to the third quarter with Brian Anderson.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the rout that it's threatening to be. You got to like what Keontae George has done in this one.
Well, they typically rely on his offensive production, and tonight has been no different.
I mean, he's obviously a difficult matchup for any team, and defensively, I think the best option here is try to take the ball out of his hands.
The Mavericks trail by 14. And Doris, this new ownership group for the Mavericks, still learning the ropes.
Yeah, listen, a bit of a rocky start perhaps, but listen, the commitment is there, and these days it's almost a prerequisite to have deep-pocketed ownership. There is no doubting the NBA is big business.
Washington and Gafford down low. Max Christie is out there with Najee Marshall, and it's Risacher in at the small forward position. That's the lineup out there for the Mavericks. And he drops them first. One thing the Jazz knew they had to improve upon was their defensive rebounding, Doris.
That shortcoming, B.A., certainly compounded their problems defensively. Even when they were able to force a miss, finishing that defensive possession with a rebound had proved to be a challenge for this group.
And so he makes both from the line. One focus for the Jazz, Doris, becoming more disciplined, avoiding cheap fouls.
To me, B.A., the sign of a great defense is giving up one contested shot, finishing your possession with a rebound, and not fouling. Keep your hands out of the cookie jar. It's hard to capitalize on your own advantage from the line when you're giving it all back in return.
Let's check in with our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Hey, Brian. Keontae George is putting in the work. He said the reads are slowing down for me. When I'm in between those lines, it's patterns. You keep stacking days, and then at some point it becomes natural. I'm a basketball junkie, so I'm trying to do everything I can to have a great and long career. Back over to you.
The love for the game. Allie, thank you. Outside Risacher. And play stops. A whistle there on what looks like an illegal screen.
Look, you've got to get your feet planted before the contact occurs.
And you know this, any little sway or movement while you're trying to set that screen, that's going to draw the whistle.
George's shot is good.
Boy, for the most part, when they have gone through him, he has delivered.
The Mavericks trail by 16. Washington outside. Back to Marshall. Gafford against Nurkic. Gafford passes to Marshall. And here's Risacher. It's blocked. Here's George. Up and in on the layup. George has got 22.
I'll tell you exactly the start to this half that you're looking for. He's taken 3 shots. He's made 3 shots.
And so Dustin. He may decides to call timeout. We might see him looking to make some tweaks to the strategy. And though it's early, let's take a look at the cup standings.
Yeah, getting off to a hot start is really important in this tournament because there's so little margin for error.
On defense, the Jazz. 18 points separating these teams. That's the biggest lead of the game.
Well, right there, the defender gets kicked off pretty easily.
Boy, you are inviting trouble when you let your opponent run the pick and roll that effectively.
Looking at P.J. Washington, he plays bigger than his listed 6'7" height.
Now, he gives you somebody that can play that undersized 5 in small ball lineups, critical in the modern NBA. with his ability to guard bigger players, his ability to set screens. He gives you so many different things. They tried to stay perfect in the half, but 3 for 4 now.
Back to Marshall. Lays it up and in off the pretty assist. Marshall's gotten his second bucket of the game.
Tremendous lead pass. Boy, that makes your teammates happy, folks.
George finds Nurkic. Utah moving the ball around. And there's Bailey. That one's good. On the assist from Nurkic. Mavericks trail by 15. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Pass to Riza-Shea. Clock at 6. Hey, shooting the ball well. He's 5 for 9 in the game.
Boy, despite his efficiency, they just can't get over the hump.
Now Nurkic. He's guarded by Gafford. And it's in there. Nurkic has gotten his second bucket on the night.
It's very hard when you consider size and strength to alter Nurk's shot. This guy, even with great defense, can find a way to get through it.
Now here's Washington. Still without a bucket. To the middle. Here's Gafford. Lays it up and banks it in. 1:50 left in the third. Here's Jackson. It's rebounded by Riza-Shea. Dallas has gotten 3 of their 7 threes to find the net in this matchup. Christie passes to Marshall. Back to Christie. Lets it go from 14. And again, it's Dallas.
With his skill from the mid-range area, that's money.
And so George will bring it up for Utah. They led by as many as 18. And following this one, they'll take on the Timberwolves in Minnesota. And that game will mark the end of a 4-game trip.
Well, they're just not letting up.
Boy, this is how you build on a lead, right? You stay aggressive no matter what the score is.
Now here's Riza-Shea. 13 points in the game. Lets it go from 11. Can't hit that one.
Well, playing his role to perfection. Using his size to control the glass for his team.
Here's George. And too long on the shot. Mavericks trail by 13. Pass to Marshall. 36 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Here's Gafford. The 3 is up. Another 3 for Dallas.
Well, that's a breakdown defensively. Can't afford to give him those kind of looks.
It's George on the wing, guarded by Marshall. And here's Bailey for 3. They get the rebound. Pass to Peterson. Now Jackson. 6 to shoot. Bailey, the pass to Jackson. Outside Bailey. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Utah ahead, up 10. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this. And a moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game.
Exceptional read and an even better pass. What a play.
Well, how about the finish, too? He made sure not to come away empty.
And this is it. Glad to have you along for this fourth quarter. Jazz leading by 10. And Utah looking at who they've got to start the fourth. Bryce Sensabaugh out there with Lauri Markkanen. Then there's Keontae George. Then it's Isaiah Collier. And it's Filipowski in at the 5. Pass to Martin. Down low. Lively shot is off.
Boy, he couldn't have asked for a better look. That's tough to take.
Here's Collier. The jumper from the wing off target. Dallas has gone 4 of 8 from 3, a nice percentage. Back to Marshall. Launches it. Utah grabs the miss. Filipowski's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Here's Sensabaugh. He's guarded by Martin. Back to Sensabaugh. For 3, Collier nails it from beyond the arc. And the Jazz lead by 15. Doris, when you talk legends, who were some of your favorites to watch?
I mean, obviously Michael Jordan comes to the top of my mind, but I'll tell you somebody who I think has become underrated over time. Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. This guy didn't touch a basketball until he was 15 years old. And yet to see that footwork and the impossible nature of trying to check him on the low post, that jump shot was smooth, the power was there. Like, don't forget Hakeem the Dream, folks. He was dynamite.
Markkanen, pass to Nurkic. Collier outside. Puts up a deep 3. Pure from 3-point range. Here's Marshall. Now here's Gafford. Martin outside. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. Again, the miss by Dallas. Here's Utah. Good momentum, 8 straight points. And he drains the quick shot. Mavericks trail by 20. To the paint. Here's Gafford. Oh, he goes to the glass with that one.
What we know about Daniel Gafford, folks, is he is going to take high percentage looks. He does exactly that there.
Shot's good by Collier.
Boy, bringing tremendous energy right now, and his teammates are absolutely feeding off it.
Timeout called. Dusty May. He is not messing around. Calling them into the huddle. So for Dallas, Washington's checked in for Aldama. Risache comes in for Johnson. And Max Christie subbed in for Martin. Now here's Marshall. Outside Christie. Over George. It's rebounded by George.
Well, when you get that kind of look inside, you have to capitalize.
Collier, no good. The Mavericks trail by 20. Marshall passes to Washington. And stolen by Markkanen. Here's Collier. And it falls all over the rim and in. Collier's got 12 now in this quarter.
Well, he has a lot of belief in himself, and he's been awesome lately.
And I think recognizing that, they are working so hard to get him the ball, allowing him to go off.
Going up with absolutely no fear.
Oh, my goodness. That is not an easy shot against length, but that subtle move to create the space he needed.
Time called here. The Jazz decide to talk it over. They're up by 20. A different look here for Utah. Jaren Jackson comes in for Markkanen. And Bailey subbed in for Sensabaugh. George outside. Over Christie. And the rebound goes to Dallas. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We've played about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter here. Marshall can't hit. On offense, here's Utah. They're on a 14-4 run. And this was dominance on both ends here tonight. Really doing it all at a high level.
Well, what impressed me was that they kept both feet on the gas more or less all night long. And that's how you secure a big win.
And they earned win number 9. Each win so important in this league. And what a huge performance it was for Keontae George.
Boy, it's not just the scoring he gave them. It was the efficiency with which he did it.
Collier. Again, Utah good for 2.
Well, if you're expecting him to ease up, you're going to be disappointed.
When you have a lead, you keep your foot on the gas pedal. That's exactly what he's doing.
Now here's Risache. Oh, another basket for him. He's 6 of 11 now. Collier outside. Lets it go from the wing. Washington grabs the miss. There's 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Back to Marshall. Oh, the lead pass. Great dish. Utah with the ball. 22 was their biggest lead. Shoots it. Shot's good by Collier. And the Jazz lead by 19.
Well, they were the aggressors here, and that's the right attitude to have on the road.
Well, they've taken any sense of drama completely out of the equation.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Pass to Marshall. Oh, putting in work inside. Jackson, and it's Utah scoring again. And so it's Utah easily grabbing this one. And remember, tonight's win means they're 1-0 in the NBA Cup. A great start to the group stage.
Well, getting that first win under your belt is huge. They still have 3 games left, but they're in great position going forward.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. With Doris Burke, Allie LaForce, and Stan Van Gundy, I'm Brian Anderson, saying thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now, time for our player of the game, Keontae George.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for this NBA presentation. Tonight, we'll see the Utah Jazz as they play against the Minnesota Timberwolves here at their home Target Center. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg. And we'll hear from Allie LaForce in just a moment. And checking out Utah's opening lineup, they've got Ace Bailey. Nurkic is out there with Jackson. Then there's Peterson. And it's George in at the 1 spot. And for the Timberwolves, at the guard spots, Ball and Edwards. Jaden McDaniels is out there with Trey Lyles. And it's Gobert in at the 5. Greg, what do you have your eye on when you take a look at the season so far?
Kevin, I'd say the teams that have come out of the gate red hot, right? Especially the teams that we didn't expect to see playing this well. Can they keep it up for the entire season?
Now, here's Ball. Outside Edwards. 6 on the shot clock. And the shot goes in. Edwards got the game going here with the first basket for the Timberwolves.
And with the way he can rise, Edwards able to get that shot off anytime.
The 3 from George. That one, no good. Ball with it. Guarded now by Jackson. Ball with a wide open look. Here's Gobert. And the ball's tied up, so we'll have a jump ball. So it's the Timberwolves now. Lyles passes the ball. 3 on the clock. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. And finished off by Gobert.
This is where Gobert likes to park himself, right around the rack.
Clark, you were telling me your favorite part of LaMelo Ball's game is his passing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, his vision and the way he sets teammates up. It's not only making the pass. 1, you got to see it. 2, you've got to be able to get it there. But you got to get it there at the right pace and in the right place. And that's what LaMelo does so well. Well, I think this is the start they want. Come out and put some points up early. 3 or 4 so far.
Launches a 3, and the Jazz another 3.
And developing that 3-ball shot, George is putting in the work now.
Outside Edwards for 3. That's a miss. He's made one and missed one. Peterson in the corner. Shoots over McDaniel. And Peterson, the bucket on the assist by Jackson.
And nothing you can do about that defensively. Peterson just has a knack for drilling contested shots.
For Utah, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Here's Jackson, and Utah again with the bucket.
And early on, they've been nearly perfect from the floor. Just the one miss here on their first 5 attempts.
To stop the run. And Ball with the lay-in. Ball's got 5 now.
This is what height in the backcourt gives you. Ball can get almost anything he wants in there because of that size.
A nice shot by George.
And you can see he's got a little bounce in his step. 3 out of 4 to start.
Here's Ball. And continuing his offense. 3 of 4. About 3 minutes gone here in the first quarter. George passes to Bailey. Puts one up from 19. That falls. Nice feed that time from George.
Impressive, really, from that short 17 area. They are not missing many.
You're exactly right. I mean, they've banged home 8 of their last 10 points on mid-range jumpers.
And, guys, hold on now. I'm getting word we have Shams Charania calling in. Shams, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, for all of their success in the West, my understanding is the Timberwolves have been searching for a true point guard for years now. And this summer, the blockbuster trade for LaMelo Ball, who was coincidentally taken 2 picks behind Anthony Edwards in that 2020 draft. Together, LaMelo and Ant have a chance to be the most dynamic backcourt in the league.
A dangerous duo for sure. Hey, Shams, thank you very much. And timeout called by Chris Finch. He's going to have a discussion on the sideline. And the Jazz with some changes. Lauri Markkanen's checked in for Jackson. And it's Isaiah Collier in for Peterson. Left side, Ball. Lets the three fly. Rebound by Nurkic. Jazz leading by 3. Shot on the wing. And Utah again with the bucket.
Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
Good on the bucket.
Yeah, LaMelo relishes every chance he gets to drop a dime like that.
Pass to Collier. Shoots over Ball. Again, the Jazz score.
That is good offense, unselfish play.
40 seconds left to play here in the first. For the 3. Again, Ball missing. Here's Collier. Defended by Dosunmu.
Wow, 10 straight points from mid-range.
You know what I've always said, partner? Good shooting covers over a multitude of ills. And we're seeing it right now.
Now, here's Ball. He's got 7. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Shot clock at 6. It's good. Ball's got 9.
Slick crossover move. The defense had no way of keeping up.
Here's Collier. And, he hits the buzzer beater.
And this is what every team tries to do. Get points out of that last possession of the quarter.
Boy, that's an exhilarating feeling heading back to the bench.
And so it's Utah, bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. They're feeling very confident, shooting the ball with great efficiency and dictating the pace. And we've got more M2K Sports coming your way after this break. And hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far, halfway through the first half in this one. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for the Jazz?
So far in this one, guys, it's been the shooting. In particular, from mid-range. That has been huge for them.
One other thing they've done really well, moving the ball around. They've done a nice job not settling for that initial option and making that extra pass.
They've got Dosunmu. He's out there with LaMelo Ball. Dante DiVincenzo, he's out there with Batum. And it's Shannon in at the 4. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. So it's the Jazz now, following the miss by LaMelo Ball from deep.
From that in-between range, they've been the much better team.
Well, when you knock down jumpers like that, it opens everything else up as well.
Now, here's Dosunmu. Scoreless thus far. It's good, and the Jazz lead is cut down to 8 on the bucket from Ball.
Well, you got to love how quick Ball's shot is. Doesn't take a lot of time to get himself squared up.
And let's go to the sideline. Here's Allen.
Thank you, Kevin. Anthony Edwards has catapulted the Timberwolves to the most success in franchise history. Instead of Minnesota, this is where it started, and they've been rocking with me since the beginning. I love my teammates. It's a brotherhood, and the fans are like family, so I appreciate the love. Kevin, back to you.
He has come a long way. Allie, as always, we appreciate your reporting. And timeout called by Chris Finch. He's going to take a minute here to get things straightened out. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
Well, some people feel like 40% is the magic number from beyond the arc. If you shoot better than that, you normally win.
Boy, they were able to put the mute button on the arena with those triples. What a great performance on the road.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Baron Jay's checked in. And it's Edwards in for Dante DiVincenzo. Utah also making some changes. Jaren Jackson's checked in for Kyle Filipowski. Peterson comes in for Williams. And Georgia subbed in for Bryce Sensabaugh. Lets it go from the wing. And Beringer pulls it down.
He just missed it. He's typically solid from mid-range.
Here's Edwards. Edwards getting the close range, too. And one of the key jobs for NBA officials, Clark, is keeping the physicality from getting out of hand.
Yeah, I think it's important for officials to keep their thumb on the physicality. Give the guys room to play. Let them bump. Advantage, disadvantage to guide their decisions as it relates to fouls. Otherwise, you have the players getting too much of a control of the game from the physicality standpoint. So keep your thumb on it, officials. Let them play, but keep it in check.
And he's picked up right where he left off from that last start.
You know what? Get your popcorn ready. We could see some fireworks.
A little miscommunication there. That was almost highlight reel material.
Hey, a lot has to go right on those aerial attempts, but something was just off that time.
The three-pointer, no good. And it's Jackson with the ball, bringing it up for the Jazz. Win after win, these guys now have 9 straight.
Just playing really solid basketball right now. They're trusting each other more out there and attacking as a group. They're a fist, not individual fingers, which has made them tough to beat.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Norkic checked in for Utah. Ace Bailey comes in for Collier. Jazz leading by 9. With Anthony Edwards, GA, you can't forget he's got potentially 8 to 10 years left in his prime.
I mean, at 21, he made his first All-Star game. At 22, it was All-NBA. So from a young age, he's had major accomplishments.
So it's the Timberwolves now after the basket by Utah. And it's good for 2.
Edwards just doesn't allow defenders to bottle him up. Great focus and persistence.
Here's Peterson. That falls. Nice feed that time from George. Peterson's got his second basket of the night.
Well, their advantage is they've been taking good shots.
Yeah, they're not just winging it. I mean, everything they do out there looks to be planned and intentional.
Here's George after the basket by Minnesota. 1:05 left to play here in the half. Here's Edwards. And the rejection by Jackson. Here's Peterson. And Utah again with the bucket.
And they've worked the ball around so well tonight for those quality looks from mid-range.
Well, it's interesting. The defense continues to back off, expecting them to attack the rack. They just continue to pull up and knock down those mid-range jumpers.
And the Jazz with possession here. Anthony Edwards unable to get his last shot to go in. And he makes that one. Peterson's got the lead up to 13 now for the Jazz.
I like the way Peterson uses his size out of the backcourt.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Here's Edwards. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. Shot from the wing. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. Eight seconds left in the first half of basketball. Puts up a deep 3. And so it's Utah looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. Their transition game has been in full effect. We've got more in store for you right after this.
Kia presents the 2K Sports Halftime Report.
Hello and welcome. Before we take a look at the action from the first half, a brief overview of some upcoming games.
I think for the Jazz, I love a new season, new faces, new places. You get to watch the rookies develop. Nothing better.
Yeah, it's great to be back. For us, and for the players, and for the fans. And let's move on now to that first half. Obviously, a lot of work to do for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They've got to play with more force defensively, if you ask me. You got to make them feel you.
Yeah, touch them up if you have to. Right now, they're putting up no resistance.
Thank you for being with us. Now let's send it to Kevin Harlan for the second half tip.
And with the second half upon us, we'll find out if this game becomes the route that it's threatening to be. Man, we're seeing a tremendous game from LaMelo Ball.
And he's been the driving force for them in the scoring department.
He's attracting a ton of attention out there, but they still have no answer for him.
Utah leading by 13. Getting underway here in the second half. Here's Will Hardy's 5. We've got Keontae George. Jaren Jackson is out there with Nurkic. Then there's Bailey. And it's Peterson in at the 2-guard spot. A nice shot by McDaniel.
Really love and appreciate the mix of finesse and length McDaniels has. That's what you need to be a great finisher inside.
Here's George. The baseline jumper goes down. George has got 12 points in the game.
He's showing no let-up in this onslaught, just piling it on.
And that's just how he's built. I mean, he's as competitive as they come.
Right now, let's take a moment here to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sidelines.
Hey, guys. With Jaden McDaniels' activity, he does the big things and the little things for his team. He said, quote, "A lot of stuff I do doesn't show up in the stat sheet. Effort, diving for loose balls, rebounding. To see how I impact the game, you've got to really watch." Guys?
All purpose. Allie LaForce with the report. Hey, Allie, thanks. Here's Ball. And the Timberwolves tack on 2 more.
3 for 3 this half. Nothing to complain about with that.
And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. This now will give him a chance to discuss some potential changes.
And they were in the top 10 in steals. It was one of those things we always heard about last season. Get a little sloppy with the ball, and they will make you pay.
And you just brought up their assists. They worked the ball around so well. Their offense last season revolved around their passing game.
Another miss. Not how he wanted to start the second half. Well, it's been a great start for this offense here in the second half. 4 for 4.
27 pick back in 2013. But Rudy Gobert has come a long way.
You said a mouthful accurately there, Kevin. I mean, back then, he struggled with just basic footwork. But that 7'9" wingspan kept him as a first-round draft choice, and his work ethic is what's led to the rest of the story.
George hits a 2-pointer and misses it off the right side of the rim. Timberwolves trail by 4. Outside, Ball. Pass to Wiles. Fires the 3. Rebounded by the Jazz. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. Here's Peterson. Hands the shot from the wing. Peterson's got 10 points.
He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
And timeout called by Chris Finch. He's going to take this chance to talk to his guys. Now let's take a look at the scoring breakdown tonight, divided between the starters and the reserves for the Timberwolves. Not quite 2.5 minutes played here in the second half. Ball from long range. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. And it's George with the ball for Utah. 6-point lead. Again, the Jazz score. And after a season with the new heave rule, where players get a free long-distance attempt at the end of quarters. Do you like that change?
I'm kind of neutral on it, quite honestly. It does add a level of entertainment. But if a rule change will make the game more fun to watch, I don't know if it really does that. So my answer is I could take it or leave it, quite honestly.
Jackson misses. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Pass to Edwards. Bursting off the floor. Edwards hammers it down.
Defense gets burned by Edwards' ball handling ability. I mean, this guy's athletic and can really move.
Here's Jackson, and he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim. Jackson's got 6 points. Timberwolves trail by 6. Ball from long range. On his 15th shot attempt, he makes his 9th basket. Shooting a healthy 60% tonight.
There you go. That's the stroke we saw in the first half.
And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. He's ready to talk things through with them. And the Jazz with some changes. Lowry Markkanen comes in for Yusuf Nurkic. And it's Isaiah Collier in for Keontae George. Here's Collier. He's got 14. 103 left in the third. And with that shot, the Jazz lead is cut to just 1 point on the basket from DiVincenzo. Here's Collier. That's in for his 8th bucket tonight. A hot 8 for 11 shooting so far. Minnesota's gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Here's Edwards. Excellent D there from Markkanen. They have a chance to go 2 for 1 here.
Let's see how they play the clock.
Over Edwards. And there's another one for the Jazz.
And Markkanen has a beautiful stroke. Superb at getting himself squared up and then quick with the release. He fires it right away.
Now here's DiVincenzo. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Timberwolves passing it around. Here's Shannon. And he uses the glass on the layup.
They can use up the clock and go for the last shot.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get a good shot, not a desperation.
Chalk up 2 there. 7 seconds left to play in the third. And here's Edwards from the arc. That shot off. Shots continuing to fall as we conclude the third quarter. Both teams putting up points. Jazz out in front, leading by 5. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center. Well, this has been a great contest so far, and I imagine the fourth quarter could have even more action in store for us. Here's DiVincenzo. LaMelo Ball is out there with Dosunmu. Then there's Dante DiVincenzo. Then there's Batum. And it's Shannon in at the 4 slot. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. No coverage that time. Ball's got 25 points in the game.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
It's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
And the Timberwolves with possession here after the basket by Utah. Pass to Shannon. From deep. It's hauled in by Sensabaugh. Jazz leading by 4. Now Collier shoots over Ball. No good from 11 feet. A little over a minute of the fourth quarter gone right now. Batum finds Dosunmu. Makes it off the glass.
And just sticking to what he does well, trying to make a difference here down the stretch.
This is why you see the ball in his hands right now. I mean, they trust him to make the right basketball play just about every time.
Efficiency has been the hallmark right now down the stretch. He is making the most of his opportunities.
And we've got a timeout called from Chris Finch. He has decided it's the right time to talk. Edwards has come in for Minnesota. Nurkic checked in for Utah. And now let's swing it over to Allie LaForce on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Chris Finch was going over with his team. He told the guys to stay after it inside. He said our play inside is terrific right now. He said don't lose any of that intensity. Stay strong down there. It's always nice to hear a coach enjoying his team's play. Back to you.
Thank you, Allie.
This one has been fun to watch. Lots of offense.
The electricity in the crowd palpable as we come down the stretch.
Very little resistance against that throwdown.
Nope, not what they want to see in a game this close, Greg.
I like that. Close game, get something in close.
Ball with the rebound. And so it's Ball who brings the ball up for the Timberwolves, trailing by 4. 6 feet out, connects with the chain.
Ball showing a lot of effervescence on the offensive end, and it's probably infectious for the rest of his squad.
Edwards with the rebound. The Timberwolves have gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. To take the lead, Edwards with confidence.
He's got that clutch gene. It's in his DNA for sure.
Jazz have gone 3 of 6 in the field so far in the fourth quarter. Puts it up. Count it. Nice touch.
He is on one right now, carrying the offense. Just keep finding him.
And so Chris Finch calls for the timeout. Clearly, he's got something his players need to hear, and immediately. So both teams changing it up here. Minnesota's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. McDaniels with the ball. Bailey picks him up. Outside, Ball. Nurkic there for the rebound.
Well, you know exactly why they let him have that shot.
Here's Bailey. Beyond the arc. Doesn't get that one. Outside, Edwards. Now McDaniel. And he does not hit. There's 1:17 left to play here in the fourth. Here's Bailey. Jacks up a 3. It's good.
With Bailey's shooting skills, you might want to see more of that from him.
Timberwolves trail by 4. Gobert.
Big time delivery. Go Bear.
Utah has gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc so far tonight. Here's Nurkic. There's 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And here is Ball. Lets loose a 3. The shot is off. What a big possession right here.
No doubt about it, guys. The tension is palpable.
Ace Bailey. A 3-pointer. Good.
And Bailey has never seen a shot he didn't like. He wants to score as often as possible.
And they have no time to waste.
Yeah, you got to run a quick play and then immediately foul.
And we've got a timeout called from Chris Finch. He knows every possession is critical now. For 3. Jackson with the rebound. And now they decide to foul intentionally. .23 seconds left in the fourth. And so they choose to intentionally foul. He drops the first one, and that increases their lead to 6.
Name a type of shot Keontae George can hit it. More than capable of scoring at all 3 levels. And he just garnered a little bit more insurance there. Very confident as he's able to go up and knock those down.
Cleared away by George. Right side Jackson. Jumper is off. Down it goes for 3.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
Tip ball, and that one goes out of bounds. They say last touch by Ball.
better to be lucky than good. That pass was just deflected and not stolen. Dodged a bullet there.
And so it's Utah who scraped by with a win. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this win.
That's a good point. I mean, weaker teams might have buckled at the end with the crowd amped up, everyone in the building kind of rooting against you, but they stood tall and pulled it out.
Well said. And that'll wrap it up, folks. So for Allie LaForce, to my colleagues here at the table, Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for being with us. And as we part ways, we present our player of the game.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Basketball on 2K Sports. We got a good one in store for you. Brian Anderson here. I'm joined by Richard Jefferson and Stan Van Gundy, and we'll catch up with Allie LaForce on the sidelines later on. We are now into November, so let's check in on the standings in the Western Conference. You look at the Jazz, they're sitting at the top of their conference right now with the #1 record.
Well, look, seeing where the Jazz are, they're certainly not wasting any time. We knew this team could come out swinging, and boy, have they.
What sticks out to me is the immediate energy they've shown, pushing each other, playing like they've got something to prove.
And the starting lineup for Miami. Manning the backcourt, we'll see Mitchell and Hardaway Jr. Inside, it's the stars of the team, Giannis the 4, Bam the 5. And it's Gardner in at the 3, the small forward. And for Utah, we've got Jaren Jackson. Peterson is out there with Keontae George. Then it's Bailey. And it's Nurkic in at the 5 down low. Coach, in the early going, were you ever worried about teams that were a little too passive to start a season?
Yeah, I was, to be quite honest. You know, I'm not worried if the performance wasn't great early in the year, but there has to be a sense of urgency and a consistency for how you prepare, the intensity you bring to games. Plenty of teams have had slow starts and still won a title, but if you're not bringing that intensity right from the beginning, it gets hard to find.
Oh, and he got fouled on his way up. He'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Well, attacking the basket inside, Adebayo knows that will pay off for him either way, and he's right.
And both free throws good for Adebayo. All right, on the line, we've got our insider, Shams Charania. What do you have for us, Shams?
Well, guys, this summer, the Miami Heat finally landed that superstar talent they've been waiting for with their trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Paired with Bam Adebayo, they form arguably the most formidable front court in the league. Will these pieces around them be enough to contend for a title in Miami?
Chasing that ring. Shams, thank you. And it's Utah with the ball. After the basket by Miami. A good-looking shot from the wing. George has got his second basket on the night.
Listen, This is how you want to start off. He's been efficient.
And when he gets going early like this, it's a great sign for the rest of the game.
Now here's Antetokounmpo. His numbers are solid, putting up around 18 points a game.
And Giannis seems almost automatic from that close. You have to deny the entry or he'll burn you.
Here's Jackson. It's a 5-point game. Bailey's shot is off. Jackson against Antetokounmpo. Into the lane.
That is powerful.
Oh, yes.
How do you even come up with something like that? Giannis is an artist.
How about that elevated look on the AT&T Connected Cam? Peterson, no good. The Heat have gone 4 of 4 from the floor. Perfect start. Here's Gardner. Uses the glass on the layup. Utah's gone 0 for 2 from outside. For 3, George. Adebayo grabs the board. Last outing for Utah, they won that game against Minnesota. Miami moving it around. Screen by Antetokounmpo. Mitchell can't get that one to fall.
Well, the defense was fortunate. That was a good look from mid-range. He just was trash.
And here's Bailey for 3. Gets his second attempt to go. Now he's 1 for 2. And we're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. The drive by Mitchell. Oh, it's blocked by Jackson.
Few more intimidating in the paint than Jackson, the former Defensive Player of the Year.
I know what they say, defense wins championships, but you need some bucket getters too now.
Here's Mitchell following the 3 by Utah. For 3, Hardaway. They get it again. Jazz trail by 5. And here's Peterson outside, and the three-pointer goes. Peterson's got 6 points.
Looks like it could be a big night for him. Very strong start here in the first quarter.
Screen by Antetokounmpo. Here's Hardaway. Oh, and Jackson with the block.
And there's that signature rim protection from Jackson Jr., making his presence felt.
Bailey's shot is off. Miami has gone 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. Here's Mitchell, and down it goes. 2 points. There's 49 seconds left in the opening quarter. Jackson, right side. Pass to Bailey. Puts up a deep 3. Antetokounmpo grabs the board. Antetokounmpo has got 4 rebounds now.
Okay, let's just say it. This has been an ugly quarter for him. Not quite a break a mirror ugly, but it's getting there.
Off target from outside. Jazz trail by 4. And here's Bailey for 3. He buries it from 3. Bailey's got his second basket.
That's just unfair with that advantage height-wise. You can just shoot over him from deep.
Here's Antetokounmpo. Oh, and Jackson with the defensive effort.
That's a defender doing just enough to cause a miss on the layup.
And a good game so far as we conclude the first quarter. Heat out in front, up 1. And we'll be back in just a minute with the start of the second quarter. And it's been a pretty even game here after 1 quarter of play. And guys, what's your take on Miami so far?
Well, they've made a commitment to pounding the ball inside, and it's working for them.
Yeah, no doubt. They've definitely been more aggressive, a more physical team so far.
Here's Collier. Coming off a terrific game against Minnesota. Kyle Filipowski is out there with Lauri Markkanen. Then it's Isaiah Collier. Then it's Sviatoslav Mikhailuk. And it's Sensabaugh in at the 3. That's the group for Utah, getting going in the second. Here's Smith. following the bucket by Utah. Fires the three. Yes, and a nice assist from Thompson.
Nice feed by Thompson. Most of the time, Clay either shoots or passes it. Doesn't really dribble that much.
Utah trailing here. Lets it fly. Ooh, excellent D there from Smith. Well, Miami shooting around 53%, a nice number. Oh, steps back and drains the jumper. Smith's got 5 points now in the quarter.
Very effective move there. Not really allowing anyone to stop him.
Pass to Sensabaugh. Here's Collier. Releases from the wing and drills it. Collier's gotten 2 of his 3 shots to go tonight. The 3, Smith. Offensive rebound, Heat. Goes back up. And Portis with the layup. And so Will Hardy calls the timeout. Coach taking this moment to speak to his guys. Maybe alter some of the game plan. A different look for Utah. Bailey's checked in for Sensabaugh. Peterson comes in for Mikhailuk. And it's Keontae George in for Collier. Miami also changing it up. Antetokounmpo's checked in for Portis. And Fontecchio's subbed in for Smith.
A lot of confidence from George shooting a 3 early in his career.
Here's Antetokounmpo. And Antetokounmpo with the stuff.
And if you try to block his shot, you risk getting posterized because he is good at using that height to his advantage.
George passes to Markkanen. For 3. And George gets it to go on the assist by Markkanen. George has got 10.
After failing to knock down anything from deep in the first quarter, he's got 2 to go here in the second.
Here's Antetokounmpo. And count it. Now 5 for 7. All right, Richard, what are your thoughts so far on the second apron? Has it effectively discouraged extreme spending?
Yes, it has. And the penalties are fairly harsh. But to me, in every sport, there should be a level of an arms race.
Antetokounmpo surveys. And here's Thompson for 3. Rebounded by Bailey. And so George will bring it up for Utah. They're really clicking as a unit. Tonight, looking for their 11th straight win.
You can feel the energy in the air around this team. They know they are on a roll, and they are committed to keeping it going as long as they can.
All right, let's take a glance at some of the defensive numbers. Here are the top teams in the league that come away with steals. 4th, Miami.
Yeah, this team will punish you for sloppy ball control, no question. They got a lot of quick-handed guys just waiting to take advantage of it.
And he knocks down the first one.
One of the greatest shooters we've ever seen. Thompson is also a proven winner and champion.
A different look here for Utah. Yusuf Nurkic comes in for Filipowski. And it's Jackson in for Markkanen. Miami also changing it up. Gardner, he's checked in for Adebayo. Hardaway comes in for Fontecchio. And Mitchell subbed in for Andrew Wiggins. So it's Miami now. The Jazz making their last shot. Antetokounmpo. And he gets the bucket. Antetokounmpo's got 12 points. The Jazz have gotten an impressive 6 of 8 shots to fall in the second. And the first shot of the night for him, missing. The Heat with the lead. Mitchell finds Antetokounmpo. Here's Gardner. Tries to save it. And out of bounds. The Jazz will take it. And let's use this break to recognize your Western Conference Player of the Week, Keontae George.
Well, I'll tell you what. This guy is doing everything they want offensively. He's a very skilled player, and it's shown lately. He's a coach's dream.
The Heat making a switch here. Portis is checked in. Miami has gone 1 of 4 from three-point land here in the second. Here's Antetokounmpo. Oh, and Jackson with the block.
Putting that 7'5" wingspan to use. Jackson with great timing on the rejection.
46 seconds left to play in the half. Pass to Gardner. Back to Mitchell. Now here's Antetokounmpo. Wow! A rim-rattling Rolling jam by Giannis.
He's a true scoring machine. Antetokounmpo never stops attacking. He is just relentless. Well, he was great the last time out. Looks like we're in for an encore performance.
I need him to touch every time up the floor until he shows signs of cooling off.
Well, if you're him, that's a reliable one-hander. Otherwise, let's go for more of a sure thing.
Hey, not the best move for everyone with a game in the balance. The 11-footer. Peterson with a rebound. Jackson on the wing. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
One eye on the clock, one eye on the rim, and he gets it done.
Oh, come on, man. That's as smooth as silk. That's how you end a period.
Keontae George has been leading the charge for the Jazz. 8 points in the quarter, showing how effective he can be. Well, now we have some time to check in with Allie LaForce. Allie.
Coach, it's been a hard-fought game. A lot of hustle plays. What gets you over the hump in the second half?
Well, we just have to keep on grinding. That's what this kind of game is like. In many ways it feels like a playoff game. But those plays right there, ball in the air, ball on the floor, we gotta make sure we're dominating those areas and then make some plays.
We'd love to see playoff intensity there in the second half. Thanks, Coach.
Allie, as always, thank you. We'll be back right after the break for the third quarter here on 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show, brought to you by Kia.
Welcome, everybody. The story tonight has been a solid showing through the first half for the Utah Jazz.
Well, they've been the more measured team, passing up good shots for great ones.
Yeah, they've been aggressive, but also disciplined. That's a sign of good coaching.
And what better time than now to get caught up on the Rookie of the Year race?
Most players don't come into the league as polished scorers, but Darius Acuff has an innate understanding of how to get to where he wants to get his points. Defenses are game planning for him already, Ernie.
Shades of the Jet in terms of being the total package. At least that's what Kenny tells me. Glad you could join us. Ryan Anderson and crew are ready to take it away for the start of the third quarter.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been a fairly even one. It's been a clinic out there by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Well, he's playing with a lot of energy and force on the interior.
He has been aggressive, getting into the painted areas seemingly at will and wreaking absolute havoc on the defense.
Here's George, setting the floor for Miami. Inside, we have Giannis and Bam. Manning the backcourt, we'll see Mitchell and Hardaway Jr. And it's Gardner in at the 3 spot. Now here's Antetokounmpo. Hardaway on the wing. Miami moving it around. Adebayo against Nurkic. Tries a 10-footer, and he buries that one. Back rim and in. Adebayo's got 6. Jackson, the pass to Nurkic. Here's Peterson. And here's Bailey for 3. Fires in the triple. And the Jazz lead by 6.
Well, the defense was a little soft. He felt free to take that shot.
Here's Antetokounmpo. Oh, Giannis working inside. Second half getting started. About a minute played. And here's Bailey for 3. And that one goes. He's shooting 5 of 9 in this one. Heat trail by 7. And here's a timeout from Eric Spoelstra now. He's going to gather the troops and talk it over. And Richard, you played for what, 8? Different teams over the course of your career. How different can the culture and environment be from team to team?
What's amazing about seeing 8 different teams, it's really 8 different companies. So you get to see the companies that have been run successfully, and you see the companies that probably should go bankrupt.
Utah on D. Pass to Gardner. And he lobs it up to the rim. Stolen by Jackson. To the inside. Here's Bailey. Yep, it finally drops after rolling around the rim. And now a 9-point Utah lead.
Well, he's had it going offensively, helping them build this lead.
Fades away, and it's Utah scoring again.
And an excellent start to the second half. Only missed 1 shot in their first 5.
Outside Adebayo. Antetokounmpo against Jackson. They need this. Outside for Mitchell. The 3. And a great assist by Antetokounmpo. And that one goes in. Mitchell's got 5.
Yeah, very hot start out of halftime. Making their first 3 shots, getting the looks that they want, and knocking them down. Well, they're just not letting up.
Smelling blood in the water. This is a chance to crush your opponent's spirit.
Here's Adebayo. Following the bucket by Utah. Here's Antetokounmpo. It falls, and now he's 10 of 15 shooting. Nice work.
Well, they came out of the locker room with a purpose. 4 for 4 already in the half.
Nurkic's shot is good. A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. Here's Antetokounmpo. Oh, and Giannis hammers it in.
Well, you could see that coming. Giannis not to be denied, especially at the rim.
Nurkic passes to Bailey. 19-footer. And it's Utah scoring again. 1:56 left in the third. Outside Hardaway. Antetokounmpo inside. Jackson on him. And it's Antetokounmpo with the miss. A lot of big men in the league can shoot the 3, RJ, and Jackson's in that category.
And that is a big benefit for them. He really opens up the lane when he's locked in from distance.
And Miami has possession. The Jazz making their last shot. Oh, it's blocked by Jackson.
You don't win Defensive Player of the Year unless you're extremely disruptive. Jackson was all over that.
Well, most of his points are coming from beyond the arc.
And in turn, that's creating space for this offense, which improves the flow completely.
And here's Bailey for 3. And again, it's Utah with a 3. And here's a timeout from Eric Spoelstra now. Coach probably just checking to make sure everybody's on the same page here. A big group substitution here for Utah. Filipowski, he's checked in for Nurkic. Lauri Markkanen comes in for Bailey. Sensabaugh is checked in for Peterson. And it's Collier in for George. So Miami going with an almost entire new group here. Bobby Portis is checked in for Antetokounmpo. Andrew Wiggins comes in for Gardner. Fontecchio's checked in for Hardaway. And it's Thompson in for Mitchell. And here's Adebayo. He'll bring it up for Miami. Portis outside. And here's Thompson for 3. That one is off.
Well, right now, they're in a rut that's tough to break out of.
Desperate to get back on track here. They'd better make a move before it's too late.
Here's Thompson. Right now averaging 5.5 a game. Well-placed jumper from the free throw line.
We all know Clay can hit this. His accuracy from the mid-range is a reliable option, to say the least.
Pulls up. And it's good. Off the back rim and in.
Well, look, if he misses that shot, Coach might think of benching him. He's pretty fortunate he got that one to go.
And here's Thompson for 3. And that's not going to go. Misses at the buzzer. And so it's the Utah Jazz continuing to pile it on, up 22 as we head to the break. It hasn't taken them too many shots to get their points. They're winning with efficiency. Back after this. And a worthy candidate tonight as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
Dismantling the defense. Incredible what a great pass can accomplish.
Yeah, we'll talk about the teamwork. That was just a great example of two guys being on the same page.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that, to this point, has not been an evenly fought contest. George out there with Isaiah Collier. Then there's Bryce Sensabaugh. Then it's Lauri Markkanen. And it's Filipowski in at the center position. That's the group for Utah right now. And a look at how the hustle game has been going for the Jazz.
They've been defending with excellent anticipation all game long. Just look at how many times they've managed to get their hands on the ball.
And I also love how they've run tonight. Kept on pushing it, and it shows up in their fast break numbers.
Here's Collier. Again, Utah good for 2.
And he's shooting it at an efficient clip, but he needs to keep looking to score. It's what his team relies on him to do.
Here's Adebayo. The rebound by Filipowski.
And usually that's a bucket for him, but look, nobody's perfect in the mid-range.
Unloads. Again, Utah.
Well, what's separating these teams right now is the efficiency on offense.
Yeah, a lot of that comes down to shot selection. When you're the more disciplined team, you make better use of your possessions.
Now here's Adebayo. Played it in with a nice touch off the window. Adebayo's got 4 points in the quarter.
And he's doing everything he can offensively to lift them out of this hole. But I'm not sure his hot shooting can do it alone.
Count the basket.
Easy to see the kind of impact George is going to have in this league. Already so productive.
Portis finds Thompson. Wiggins outside. Inside. And finished off by Adebayo.
Yeah, a simple pick play works wonders.
One of the oldest plays in the book, still highly effective.
The Jazz have got all 4 shots to go in this final quarter. Here's Collier. The rebound by Wiggins. The Heat have gone 3 of 4 in the fourth and looking confident on offense. To the inside. Here's Adebayo. And finished off by Adebayo.
Oh, my. So much force in Bam's game right there.
And we've got a timeout called by Will Hardy, rallying his guys to make sure they all know the plan. The Jazz making a switch here. Williams is checked in. So Miami going with almost an entirely new group here. Giannis Antetokounmpo is checked in for Portis. Gardner comes in for Andrew Wiggins. Hardaway's checked in for Fontecchio. And Mitchell subbed in for Thompson. Out of bounds. It'll be Jazz ball.
I'm not sure what he was thinking. That's a weird pass.
Collier outside. The Jazz again can't hit. And Miami has possession. Here's Hardaway. Good. And Antetokounmpo gets the assist. Antetokounmpo's got his 3rd assist of the night. Here's Collier. And the foul on Kyle Filipowski. That's his first foul. Shot's good by Collier. The Heat have gotten 5 of 6 shots to go in the fourth. Here's Adebayo. And Adebayo slams it in.
Well, you see his mobility there. Bam is so elusive on the drive.
Here's Collier. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right iron. Collier's got 8 points here in the quarter. Antetokounmpo outside. 1:44 left to play in the fourth quarter. And he can't get that one. Here's Markkanen. Again, Utah good for 2.
Well, it doesn't matter where he is on the court. Markkanen is a pure shooter.
Here's Mitchell. Banked it in off the glass. It felt like everything came together for them in this one, in what will go down as a commanding victory.
Well, look, they obviously had the right game plan, but you could also tell that they simply wanted it more. Their effort was on another level.
And this will push their total wins for the year up to 11. And one player just stole the show tonight, doing everything for his team. A monster night for Ace Bailey.
And he's been a well-oiled machine on offense, keeping things simple in this end, getting the looks that he wanted, knocking them down.
That shot won't get him a pat on the back, I tell you.
Oh, yeah, he's got to use his head there. He can find a better look than that.
A different look here for Utah. Hayes is checked in for Filipowski, and it's Conchar in for Williams.
Yeah, no matter how you slice it, Giannis is a force on the floor. The power, the scoring, the rebounding, the defense, he gives you everything.
Shot's good by Collier.
To get a win like this on your own turf, it's a special feeling.
Yeah, they were outstanding tonight. The crowd, they're going to go home happy.
43 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Collier. Again, Utah good for two.
Well, they passed every test and had an answer for everything that was thrown at them.
Oh, you can feel it coming. They needed that surge to close the door.
Pass to Markkanen. Over on Antetokounmpo. And Markkanen gets it to go on the assist from Collier.
And Markkanen has such smooth shooting mechanics. Most of the time, you just assume his jumper is going in.
That one's good for two.
They finally kick it into gear, but the game's out of reach now.
At least they can take something positive away from this. They're not just rolling over.
And here's Fontecchio. So we see the Jazz taking the W here. What a performance here at home. Just dominant.
Well, listen, winning NBA games is so hard. So to get a blowout, breathe easy down the stretch, that's incredible.
And that'll do it, folks. For Richard Jefferson, Stan Van Gundy, and Allie LaForce, Brian Anderson thanking you for being with us on 2K Sports. And now let's take a look at our player of the game, Ace Bailey.
Welcome, basketball fans, to a very special Veterans Day edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan on the call. Hall of Famer Doris Burke, along with Greg Anthony and our reporter, Allie LaForce. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You look at Utah, a terrific position for them as they hold up that illustrious top spot, but it's a long season, as we all know.
And I think for the Jazz,
well, they've built an incredible team, and they're absolutely playing like it.
What you love is they've hit the ground running. And when you can build this kind of momentum, perhaps if required, you could withstand a little bit of a tough stretch later.
Now the starting group for Orlando. Running out in the wings, it's going to be Bane and Wagner. Inside for him, we'll see Banchero and Vucevic. And it's Suggs in at the 1. And for the Jazz, Nurkic is out there with Jaren Jackson. Then there's Ace Bailey. Then there's Peterson. And it's George in at the point guard position. Suggs finds Banchero. Found a handful of games in. Always interesting, Greg, how the season begins to take shape.
And Kevin, I get flashbacks of team meetings and practices, film room and coaching sessions. Everyone trying to figure out what's working and what's not and how to make the most of the tools they have at hand.
So the Utah Jazz able to put the first points up on the board. And finished off by Banchero.
What you love about Paolo is he can go left or right, and the score off the bounce is just on point.
Here's George. Orlando grabs the miss. And this game, the first chance they've had to see Utah.
Yeah, and they swept this matchup the 2 times they played last year. They held the advantage on paper and on the court.
Well, a year ago, there was a big gap in talent between the 2 teams. But changes are always made, and we'll see how they match up this time around.
Well, he's off to a hot start. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Clean looks early, and he starts putting shots down. Then you have to start to worry. Boy, not a bad beginning. 3 for 4 from the floor. Pretty good start.
Utah's gone 2 of 2 from three-point range here in the first quarter. So Doris, we know he's an outstanding passer for his size. But Paolo Banchero, not quite a point guard, is he?
No, Kev, I think a more apt description is probably point forward. But remember, he's been averaging around 5 assists his entire career. As a secondary playmaker, he is very solid.
There's Peterson. The shot's good on the assist by George.
And you see the scoring ability of Peterson on shots like these. His confidence right now through the roof.
Now, here's Wagner. He's guarded closely. And with that one, he is 1 for 2.
What a great start. They've only missed 1 thus far.
Here's George. And again, it's Utah.
You're seeing Keontae George develop into more and more of a potent offensive weapon. Goes to the jumper there.
Now, here's Suggs. 11 points last game. Banchero kicks to Bane. His 3-pointers off the mark. Jazz leading by 4. Here's Bailey. And, yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Bailey's got 8. And so Wagner will bring it up for Orlando. This game coming on the heels of their win against the Kings.
And listen, scoring on the road is never easy, but you wouldn't have guessed it in watching that game.
When a team is executing to the level they did, it can just simply take the spirit out of an opponent.
Now we'll hear from Allie LaForce, and she's got a story for us. An update. Allie?
Hey, Kevin. Franz Wagner has taken scoring to new heights. He said, I'm just continuing to be aggressive and in the mindset where I can improvise and not predetermined stuff. That's when, as a player, we get into a rhythm. And when you're just in the flow of the game, that's also when it's the most fun. Back to you, Kev.
It is a beautiful thing. All right, Allie, as always, we thank you. And so, Sean Sweeney calls a timeout. He made the decision to huddle up with his guys and talk about strategy. Lauri Markkanen's checked in for Utah. Collier comes in for Peterson. The Magic also changing it up. Carter, he's checked in for Vucevic. Tristan Da Silva comes in for Banchero. And Black's subbed in for Suggs. And Orlando has possession. 6-point game.
Ooh, that's on the defense there. Ideal positioning for Franz Wagner to throw it down.
Here's Collier, and there's another one for the Jazz.
Really well done there. Just confident and composed, never in a hurry.
Payne against George. Stolen by Jackson. Now George. He had an 18-point outing in their last game against Miami. Collier. And the wing jumper offline.
Now, how about the shot contest there? Made it much more difficult to finish.
You could just feel the impact, right? You don't get the block, but that defensive pressure made all the difference.
Here's Black. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Fires from the wing. And Utah again with the bucket. There's 10 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Payne for three. Not going to go that time. And so it's the Utah Jazz in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter of action so far. What do you guys think about the Jazz here in this one?
Well, guys, their offense is humming along so far. A great start for them.
It is one thing to get an advantage. It is harder to sustain that advantage. No lead is safe in this league. None.
So with George on the bench, this is Will Hardy's lineup. They've got Markkanen. Filipowski's out there with Williams. Then it's Isaiah Collier. And it's Sensabaugh in at the shooting guard. Jazz leading by 8. One thing the Jazz doors have looked to improve upon, their floor spacing.
Yeah, it's tough to win in today's game if you can't punish teams from long distance. It is a major key for them offensively.
Now, here's Wagner. He had 10 points in the win against Sacramento. The Jazz shooting 71% all in all in this one. They've been brilliant offensively. And it's Collier missing. The Magic trail by 6. Here's Richardson. And looking great already, hitting his first 2 field goals. And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan for the Jazz. Ace Bailey's checked in for Williams. Peterson comes in for Bryce Sensabaugh. And it's Keontae George in for Isaiah Collier. Jalen Suggs is checked in for Orlando. Black kicks to Suggs. Takes a 3. And that's how you like to get it going. He's 1 of 1.
Oh, Suggs is so competitive. You knew he wanted to respond with that 3.
From deep, George. Carter pulls it in. The Magic trail by 4. Here's Wagner. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Doris, you and I agree. Such a versatile scorer, Franz Wagner. Especially efficient with that pull-up J.
Kev, he loves to use that hard dribble, get the defender leaning one way, and then understands when to pull the string. You know that tons of practice hours have gone into it.
And Orlando making a change here. Baines checked in. George missing again. And it's Orlando's ball. They're on an 11-3 run. And here's Wagner. He's got 6. Going inside. Can't tie it up as that one's no good.
Boy, he had a clear look at it. Ooh, you hate to miss chippies like that.
Peterson misses. The Magic have gotten 4 of their first 5 shots to fall in the second quarter. Outstanding shooting. The game now all-time. Baines got his first bucket in this one.
Striking fast inside. Bain isn't going to miss a chance at a look like that.
And really deep through that time.
Another reason why they're up. Just taking what the defense giving him here.
Peterson with the steal. About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. And it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Suggs. And the Jazz with some changes. Yusuf Nurkic. He's checked in for Filipowski. And it's Jaren Jackson in for Lauri Markkanen. Time to change for the Magic. Banchero's checked in. Let's check in now with our Allie LaForce, who's got a story for us. Allie?
Thanks a lot, Kevin. The Magic have made some strides offensively. Coach Jamal Mosley said, now we have these weapons. Opponents have to guard every position the right way. There's nowhere to hide their defenders. Desmond Bain said, guys are playing with confidence, but it's all fueled by our defense. Back to you.
He can do both. Allie LaForce with the report. Hey, Allie, thanks. Banchero against Jackson. Carter kicks to Bain. Pass to Carter. 6 to shoot. Suggs looking around. And it comes off the front of the rim. Jazz leading by 3. Jackson from long range. And it's Suggs with the rebound. The Magic have gone 6 of 8 from the field in the second quarter. There's the 3. Rebounded by the Jazz. The question for them right now, can they maintain this winning streak? They've notched 11 in a row.
You have to give a ton of credit to not only the coaching staff for having their group prepared to play nightly, but also a ton of credit to these players who have been solid with their rotations, who've been committed to both ends of the floor. Their depth has been apparent. This is a formidable team right now.
That one goes in.
That's about simply playing hard. Wagner doing what it takes to find a shot in the interior.
The 3 from George. Carter pulls it in. Carter's got his 7th rebound here tonight. From past the arc. Bain, no good. And that's it for the first half of action. What's been a very close game here. It's the Jazz. They're up by 4. From the Delta Center, it's the NBA on 2K Sports.
Kia presents the 2K Sports Halftime Report.
Hello, everybody. No lack of drama tonight. The Utah Jazz might be taking this one all the way down to the wire.
If you can make threes with consistency, the floor opens up. They've been pulling apart that defense.
Making it rain, and their opponent brought no umbrellas. All right, now, still early on, but let's check out the Western Conference standings.
You look at the Jazz, it's still early, and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but right now, they are easily the best team in the league.
Well, we knew they'd be good, but we didn't know they'd be this good. And that'll do it for halftime. We send you back to Kevin Harlan, who has the second half call.
And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. Guys, it has been a clinic out there by Keontae George.
And this is nothing new for him. The team often leans on his ability to score.
I mean, he's obviously a difficult matchup for any team. And defensively, I think the best option here is try to take the ball out of his hands.
Checking out the group for Sean Sweeney to start the second half. Wagner is in the front court alongside Banchero. Suggs is in at the point with Payne on the wing. And it's Vucevic in at the center. Here are the Magic now, following the three-pointer by Utah. Here's Banchero for three. Rebound by Nurkic. Jazz leading by 7. For their roster, Greg, the Magic prioritize size and defense. But shooting has been a weakness.
It's the cold stretches we've seen from Orlando, often the result of missing wide.
Open looks. We're wasting no time coming out of the break, being aggressive.
And that's where you want to make the next pass. This guy is a good scorer, but the defense was right on him.
Now it appears an injury out on the floor, and that does not look like any fun.
Oh, boy. This is a part of the game you hate to see.
Yeah, I mean, he's headed off the floor, and you hope for good news from the medical staff and that he can come back sooner rather than later.
Lauri Markkanen's checked in for Jackson. Suggs against George. And Utah, another three.
Boy, picking up where he left off. His second from distance this half, 5 overall.
Wagner passes to Banchero. Banchero is screened for Bain. Looking for a breather and maybe adjusting a thing or two. And for a look at how the competition stacks up right now, here's the latest edition of the Power Rankings. They tell a great story. Taking a look at Orlando, they still have a firm hold on that second spot. Strong place to be.
And you know, right now for the Jazz, they've got to be disappointed with their play. They just look disjointed, and their losing streak continues to grow as a result.
And they say we're in the golden age of NBA buckets. Doris, is it just the three ball, or is it something more?
It's definitely something more, Kevin, because we talk so much about the three-point shot and its proliferation across the league, and that is certainly the case. But what's happened is teams are digging down to which shots are their best shots. The most highly valued shot remains the restricted area, those point-blank layups. Those are the best shots. If you've got three-point shooters, you use them, but some mid-range assassins still make that matter.
The Magic trail by 4. And man, is this team on a roll right now offensively, Greg. So fun to watch.
They're playing with so much confidence, which is why they're tearing it up on this end.
Fires from deep. George, no good. And here's Banchero. He'll bring it up for the Magic. No one near Suggs as he lets it go. That falls. Nice feed that time from Banchero. Banchero's got 3 assists in the game. An all-star back in 2024. Banchero working to get back to that level, Greg.
Yeah, he understands team success dictates a lot of that, right? And rather than trying to pad his stats, he's just focused on impacting wins, and that's including the defensive end.
And so Sean Sweeney calls a timeout. He's going to take this chance to talk to his guys. Orlando making some changes. Carter, he's checked in for Vucevic. Tristan De Silva comes in for Bain. And Black's subbed in for Jalen Suggs. And the first one at the line is good. Doris, you look at this group for the Magic, it's getting expensive.
Well, this is what happens with a stacked young roster. Once they come off of those rookie-scale contracts, the front office has some difficult decisions they're going to eventually have to make.
Here's Black. Still yet to score. Wagner outside. Here's Banchero. And it's hauled in by Lauri Markkanen. A chance at a 2-for-1 if they want it.
If I'm them, I try it.
Here's Filipowski, and the Jazz, another 3.
And you see the strategy shift, right? They've become a lot more perimeter-oriented since the break.
And I like the tactic. You know, it allows you to keep your opponent guessing. The ball's moving, getting to the right spots.
Utah leading. 6 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Pass to Sensabaugh. Now Markkanen fires for 3. That shot is off. Banchero right side. And there are the Magic with another bucket.
Well, he knew what he wanted to do there. Uses that height to get a clean look over the smaller defender.
Hinson knocks down the 3-ball. Hinson's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And as we conclude the third quarter, what a game, neither team giving ground. Jazz lead by 3. And we're coming right back. Be sure to stay with us as we get started for the fourth quarter. And now let's go back to a play from earlier as we show you our State Farm assist of the game.
As soon as he let go of that pass, you could see the defense get the air knocked out of him.
Not only was it on time, but the pass was exactly where it needed to be.
3/10 quarters behind us. One more to go. Thanks for being with us as we begin the fourth. They've got Kyle Filipowski. George is out there with Isaiah Collier. Then there's Markkanen. And it's Sensabaugh in at the 3 spot. That's the group right now for Utah. Shot's good by Filipowski. And it's the Magic with the ball, trailing by 4. Next up on the docket, the Bucks following this one. That game is the first and last of their homestand. A nice shot by Black. Black's got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, Anthony Black is a guy who's going to see a lot of minutes at the point guard. But can we remember he's 6'7", so when he's on the interior, he can do some things.
George, no good. And for the Magic, they're shooting a scorching 68% in the game. Black, no good. Utah has gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. From deep three-point land, that doesn't go either for George. Magic have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Black the pass to Banchero. Shoots over Collier. And it's Banchero missing.
Well, this guy typically a nice touch from mid-range, but obviously can't make them all.
Pass to Filipowski. Back to George. Takes the 3. Hits the three-point bomb. George has got 13 points in the second half.
3 triples in the first half, 3 in the second. Boy, do they add up.
And Sean Sweeney is called a timeout. He's not taking any chances and wants to huddle him up right away. A different look for Utah. Yusuf Nurkic. He's checked in for Filipowski. Bailey comes in for Bryce Sensabaugh. And Peterson subbed in for Isaiah Collier. Orlando also making some changes. Vucevic comes in for Wendell Carter. And Wagner subbed in for Anthony Black. We're now joined by our sideline reporter, Allie LaForce. Allie, it's all yours.
Hey, guys. During that last break, I heard Sean Sweeney as he talked with his team. He absolutely held nothing back. He said, quote, "We know who we are. Let's be that. The plan is to play their game and let the chips fall where they may." Guys.
All right, Allie, thank you. Jazz leading by 3. Shoots it. And he hits the jumper.
Man, is it tough to guard Peterson or what? Especially when he's connecting off the dribble like this.
Now Wagner. Banchero outside. Suggs outside. The 3 goes down.
Jalen Suggs, a big-time bucket. This guy is fearless.
And Will Hardy is called timeout. There was no hesitating. He wants to talk to the team right now. It's George on the wing. He's covered by Suggs. Banchero vacuums it in. Orlando's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. He drills the 3.
He really thrives in high-pressure moments. That's a big-time play.
And to go courtside and hear what's going on with Jaren Jackson. Allie, what are they saying about the prognosis?
I chatted briefly with the head athletic trainer for Utah. They told me it's a collapsed lung, a serious situation, and we're all hoping that he's okay. With an injury like this, it's going to be a slow healing process. Unfortunately, he'll be out for a while, guys.
Thanks for the status report there, Allie. I'm sure everyone's glad, including us, to have a little bit more about this story.
Yeah, fans now have more access than ever to the status of players in the league. We definitely appreciate the info.
Here's George. Paolo Banchero making his last shot. From deep. That shot no good. For Utah, they've gone 4 of 10 here in the final period. Not the time to go cold. Outside George. Fires the 3. Cleared away by Suggs. And Suggs has got the ball here for Orlando. Now Banchero. Nurkic there for the rebound. This is a huge possession.
And this is where all the hard work pays off. You have to be able to execute under pressure.
Now, here's George.
When you talk about a game-defining shot, wow.
Boy, the poise he showed, the confidence, just incredible.
And we've got a timeout called by Sean Sweeney. Coach clearly feeling the necessity to regroup with so much at stake here. Any ideas on strategy being discussed right now in that huddle? Out of bounds as Orlando keeps possession. Here's Wagner. Shoots the three, and there's the three.
Big basket right there from Franz Wagner. This is a guy who relishes that kind of opportunity.
Deontay George missed on the three.
And he needs to find other ways to contribute besides shooting. Sometimes you have to learn how to play well when you're not playing well.
What an opportunity here.
Yeah, chance to take the lead. This is huge.
And Carroll outside. Suggs. The long shot, no good. And regulation now complete. We will go to overtime. From Delta Center. Back in a moment. Glad to have you with us as we get going in overtime. Neither team giving an inch in this one. George with the ball. Inside for him, we'll see Banchero and Vucevic. Running out in the wings, it's going to be Bane and Wagner. And it's Suggs in at the one. Here's Vucevic following the three-pointer by Utah. Banchero. Nice use of the glass on the finish. And you look at the players coming into the league of late, Doris, who has caught your eye as being one to watch?
I think for me, concomitant attitude. This is a guy in the era of Steph Curry who is now the rookie record holder for made triples. Not only that, his efficiency has been elite. He's got the size to make that an easy finish. Vucevic, deep position, and he's golden.
And they pick up the two.
Each team still filling it up here down the stretch.
This is incredible. Big shot after big shot. What a game.
Now, here's Banchero. Big time move inside.
Well, you watch Paolo Banchero and the offensive arsenal. This guy is just built to score the ball.
Here's Bailey. Launches it. Cleared away by Wagner. Now Suggs. Oh, the dunk.
Just the kind of play they need in a game this close.
You know, that's the kind of aggression they want from their floor leader.
That is not just aggression to the rim. It is absolutely finishing with bad intentions.
Bailey, trained from outside.
With Bailey's shooting skill, you might want to see more of that from him.
And we've got a timeout called by Sean Sweeney. No doubt he is feeling the importance of this moment right now. Bane nails the jumper.
Oh, big bucket from Bane. Oh, my.
Now Nurkic. And down goes the three.
No fear. Peterson wants to take and make the big shot.
Ben.
That's a big-time shot by a big-time guy. Paolo Banchero, assertive when you need him.
Let's see the connected cam angle on that stunning play. Brought to you by AT&T. Here's Bailey. Sweet shot at the right time.
If it wasn't over already, it might be now.
I love that their effort level hasn't dropped at all. You love to see that for a team. Build a big lead and sustain.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. 17 seconds left to play in OT, and this battle continuing. What do you think we're going to see coming out of this timeout?
Step one, they need a quick bucket.
No doubt. And then you need to go for the steal, and if you can't get one, it's a quick foul.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet. And now we've got the intentional foul. And the first of two, no good. Heartbreaker.
Name a type of shot Keontae George can hit it. More than capable of scoring at all three levels.
And no secret here, guys. They've got to get a three if we're going to get yet another overtime.
Fires from way outside. No good from three. And so it's Utah who scraped by with the win. They had to scrape and claw to push it to overtime, but they really came on in the extra period.
What a ride. I mean, I thought it might end in regulation, but you know what? They came through big and did exactly what was necessary once we got into OT.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Dorisburg, Greg Anthony, and our sideline reporter, Allie LaForce, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And as we leave you, let's take a look at our player of the game, Keontae George.